truth. Oh, you're tired of being so confused. You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, start offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's dude. Come on, man. Can you feel the pain? Into him now. About this new world. Ain't no train. Papa's got a brand new eye.
Hey everybody, it's T.S. Dixon, author of The Woke Mind Viruses. And I want to tell you that I'm pleased to be part of The Dumb Show, the Don't Unfriend Me show that you can find every weeknight at 7 p.m. on social media at The Dumb Show or on their website, thedumbshow.com. See you there.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
Happy Friday, all. Red Friday, to be exact. God, I'm so happy for the weekend. We need a weekend. Like, it was just, So, all puppies in the house. Hello, pup.
Hi, puppy.
Welcome to the Don't Unfriend Me show. Matt and Olivia here tonight, along with special guest T.S. Dixon at 8 o'clock. He'll be here at 8. Yours truly forgot to send him the invite, so it's my fault. But he'll be here 2 hours next time. He's a regular. We love him to death.
T.S. Dixon again. Yep.
Yep. T.S. Dixon, the Woke Mind Viruses. So tonight, T.S. Dixon will be here. Scott Lebedo, do not miss this show. May 20th. Scott Lebedo. We will not be using the censor button. Scott has a colorful vocabulary, and we're fine with that. He'll be here. If you don't know who Scott Lebedo is, get your pulse checked, please. Ryan Weaver will be here, the Golden Mike himself. The mic, people asked me, I got an email today. Hey, what's the mic? The mic is you're a podcaster or you're like a singer, something like that. So Ryan Weaver is the singer, so he gets the Golden Mike. And then Damani Felder, we know, is also a podcast aficionado and my brother from another mother. Then we have Ryan Samuels who will be on here. We haven't seen Ryan in a while. Can't wait to get him back on. And then Dave Bondi will be here. Dave Bondi, reporter who went on his own, left the big networks and is doing an amazing job over in Michigan, Detroit area. So, yep, T.S. Dixon will be here. You might see a little frame, and that's going to be waiting for him. We're going to fill that with his book. Donations are up $300. That's what we're going for tonight. Just to be, we always share our family stuff with you guys. We were really thinking about maybe going out to Colorado and taking a little vacation and going to go see the Stanley Cup game, and it didn't work out. We wanted to, but it's Hayden's birthday, and it's just time wasn't right. And I've learned when things like that happen, and there's any type of resistance, just to walk away and say no. I think Olivia and I both agree on that. Is that it's better just to walk away and reset and try again. Something was telling us not to, so we said no. But so we're here. And we weren't going to leave tonight, but we are here, and we're looking forward to speaking with you and having a conversation. I know Olivia's got some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She has a lot of stuff to share with you, and we haven't gotten her yet. So let's do that. Livy.
Yeah, so I received 2 emails today. I love getting emails from people. Just letting you guys know. Love it. But I'm going to read. One of them actually was a message to our Shopify account. And from a new viewer, pardon me, I'm old. I need glasses. So,
Whoops.
Pardon me.
Okay.
Her name is Monique.
Monique. That's a good name.
And she says, "Hi there. I was on Rumble today, stumbled upon your podcast. Curious when I see dumb. I have to say what a great podcast. You guys are great to see, and I'm not woke. I've been awake for a long time, but thank you for the great content that you guys are broadcasting and putting out. And P.S. Go Knights. I'm from Vegas. God bless you and your family." And
no,
I
banned her already.
Yeah.
I just blocked her. I was just like, screw it.
It's
She's
just
out here.
sweet, you know. It was really nice. I love it when people reach out. The other one is a little bit longer. It's from a longtime listener. She's been listening for almost 5 years, and someone who is around a lot and who hasn't been around a lot lately. And she sent me an email, and this is why. And I thought everyone would like to hear. It says, "Hi, Olivia. I had posted this on my Facebook and decided I would share with you and Matt. This is from Iva Lee, just so you guys know. I have from day one, which is about 5 years ago, enjoyed the Dumb Show, watching your family grow and watching the transformation of y'all's faith in our Lord and Savior. I share this not for a see what I've been through, but a testimonial in faith. I still listen every night and look forward to a time when I can help contribute to such a great show and a wonderful cast of people. By the way, I can't believe how long your hair is getting. I'm jealous. Mine just started coming back a couple months ago. Before I lost it, it was shoulder length and auburn in color. It's now crazy kinky curls and gray, but at least it's coming back. Sending love to you all. I'm going to tell you a true story. It will be a bit long-winded, but those who know me well aren't surprised. 1 year ago today, I went to the emergency room in Bullhead City thinking I had an infection, get a couple antibiotics, and be on my way to work. Instead, it was the first day of some scary days ahead. I was sent to Vegas in an ambulance. A rough ride, especially when you're in pain already. To be honest, I don't remember half of the time I was there. They say sometimes your brain just blocks things out to keep you from being traumatized. I'm believing it. I was told I had colon cancer. They removed some of my colon, and I got a how do you spell colostomy?
No, you can't keep pronouncing. You can't ask me to do it and then just keep pronouncing. You just want to keep trying, Candace, or do you want to give me a chance? Colonoscopy.
Okay. I had also suffered a terrifying hallucinations from the anesthesia where I thought I'd been kidnapped. Luckily, that only lasted one long night, but I was afraid for the next few nights to go to sleep. Al, who is her husband, had to stay home because of the dogs, but my girls were able to visit. After a month, I went home to meet with an oncologist. A month in a hospital. That's a long time. Al and I had our first visit where he explained that there was cancer cells in my colon, but I had ovarian cancer and it was in many parts of my lower body. We were told that it was inoperable and incurable. The best they could do would be to get me to a remission stage to give me a little more time with my family. So at the time, I set myself some goals. One was to gain some weight. I weighed 96 pounds at the time. The next was to see my 70th birthday, which was last September, which my girls gave me a fabulous birthday party. The next was to see Christmas, New Year's, and my grandson's wedding in April of this year. Chemo had started in June. I was very fortunate. I handled it pretty well. In July, my oncologist and his partner, which was also his wife, presented my case to a surgeon, young woman, very well known at the Mayo Clinic for her success in exploratory surgeries that had to do with gynecological areas. She came up with
Candace.
Yeah, thanks. She came up with a plan that she then had to convince 11 of her colleagues.
Real quick.
Yes.
How do I get to our live?
You just have to go to Facebook and then click on the red.
Instagram.
Just go to Instagram and click on the live on Instagram.
I'm here. This is an emergency. Like, I need it now.
Well, we're up.
I don't care about that. It's an emergency. I need to get on Instagram right now.
All I do is I look.
Click it, please. Help me with this. I can't see.
Okay. What are you trying to do?
Why don't you read? You can see it. It's right there. Open thy eyes. Honey.
Yeah.
See that?
Yeah.
I need you to get that motherfucker off of our channel right now. So I need you to give me his name and tell it to me, please.
Got it. It's RC_Cola_60.
I got him.
Got him? Okay. Got it. Okay. Sorry. Did not see what was going on there. Sorry, guys. Give 'em some housekeeping. Got to
Oh,
do it.
okay.
Okay. Sorry about
I
that.
think I got him.
All right. So,
All right. Sorry, there's someone making death threats against Democrats and saying no, we don't tolerate that shit, and I'm not having that on my show. So that's all I need is to get a knock by the FBI because some asshole is threatening to kill people. Go ahead.
all right. In the meantime, we had another scare, and back in the hospital I went. My intestines had decided to twist like a very tight rope. My surgeon, Dr. Butler, told the physician at the hospital to get me comfortable, but they were not to operate. I got back out, back on chemo, then we waited. All this time, Al was taking care of my every need. He was so sure that our time together was coming to an end. I wasn't. I knew whatever my Lord and Savior had planned for me was what was the best for me, so I wasn't scared or sad. Something in me told me to keep my faith, strong, for he had plans. The end of August, we got the news that 7 of Dr. Butler's colleagues agreed to the surgery. Many thought that at 7 years old, a 12-hour surgery would be too much. 4 of the 7 wanted to be a part of the surgery. She told me that she told them, if you could just meet this woman, she has spirit and her faith is so strong. I went off chemo and September 30th went under the knife for just under 12 hours, which before they put me to sleep, I checked with all. I believe there was approximately 15 in the room. Had they all had a good night's sleep, in which they laughed, said yes, and I said, okay, I'll see you in 12 hours. Dr. Butler had told Al in the first hour, we will know if it is going to work. We'll sew her up and call it a day. Well, thanks be to God, Dr. Butler and her team. Things went great. I'm missing parts of my body, 20 feet of intestine, most of my colon, a couple other things, but medical advances are amazing. I'm told Dr. Butler is confident that I will pass of old age before cancer ever comes crawling back. We laugh and say I'm their $1 million miracle. I had a month stay where the doctors would come in and chat about how things turned out so much more than they had anticipated. I had issue more with infections than anything. I will testify to this. Mayo Clinic is the best hospital in the United States. The doctors and the staff are amazing. I can't begin to thank not only them, but my husband Al, who has taken such great care of me, my children who put their busy lives on hold to take care of me, and their mama. My coworkers and customers, some I didn't even know their names, but came up to me when I was at the sports book and tell me how happy they were to see me and how they have been praying for me. And of course, my friends who have been praying for me and checking on me this last year. So it's been a year. I'm happy to report I no longer smoke. I'm back working 40 hours a week, and I appreciate all God has blessed me with. I thank anyone who reads this whole thing. I pray that those who read it, that this gives you hope for a future, that all the little things in life really do matter. Praying, even if the outcome isn't what you were hoping for, matters. Just remember, make the best for what time you have with your loved ones. And my personal advice, get right with God. It makes facing difficult times easier. Godspeed and much love to all.
Good for Iva Lee.
But brought happy tears to my eyes.
How do you make that short?
You can't.
You can't. It's a story. So it's a beautiful one. So
Yes.
we love Iva Lee. It's amazing. And you know what? I hope we get to a point where we have to take almost the whole show talking about people's, lives and what they're going through. And, I was trying to be as sensitive as I could to Chuck and Kathleen. So I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I'm just going to say that Chuck watched last night for an hour. I can't go into a lot of details. He's struggling and trying to get through it right now and going through a whole bunch. So, we love him, appreciate him, and we're praying for him too. So we've lost good people here on this show, and a lot of people have made it, and there's been miracles. So let's hope, this is another one. So appreciate your prayers tonight. If y'all wouldn't mind, that would mean a great deal.
Yes.
We got a busy show tonight. Let's do it. Donations are up. thedumbshow.com/donate. Appreciate your help if you can. First things first, want to get to Ben Shapiro. When TS gets on, we're going to be talking a little bit more about the patriarchal and matriarchal society that Western civilization surround itself around, and the whole incel movement, which is the demasculating men, or the emasculation of men. And being an incel is a person who really can't copulate with a woman because they don't have the necessary requirements. One being the physicality, the attractiveness, I don't know, just even the instinct to have sex with women. And therefore they just write them off altogether. And this is the Nick Fuentes in the world, etc. And this ties into our conversation. And we're going to talk about feminism, and tried to explain it last night, how much of a detriment it is to society. But who would be better than T.S. Dixon to come here and talk about the book and talk about the woke mind viruses and modern day feminism, how it was never designed for women. It was a a way to separate women from their masculine partners. And it's going to be a good conversation. We'll do the full hour on that. So first, I want to start off with Ben Shapiro. If you notice that Candace Owens has been celebrating that Tennessee, the corporate headquarters of the Daily Wire, had to lay off some people. Folks, it's tight for everybody. It's tight for us too. The numbers have been down for everybody, and this happens. People are sick. This is the summer. They're not watching TV. They're not watching this. The election's over. What they're doing is getting out and going and enjoying life. Memorial Day weekend's coming up, and they're not sitting here watching and listening to Olivia and I. They're not listening to Ben Shapiro, and this happens every year. This is the slowest time of year. It's right after tax season. This is the biggest lull. It used to be January and February, but that's moved. Seems January and February are pretty darn hopping now, but really March, April, May suck. And it starts picking back up in June, July. So, yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
So it's a little bit slower. So they let some people off, but honestly, what it probably is hyper expansionism. They grew too far, too fast, reached too far, too fast. Dan Bongino leaves the market. Then you gain market share, then he comes back and you lose market share. And that has an impact. Everybody felt it when Dan came back. But then you've got some other up-and-comers who've kind of expanded their growth, including Candace Owens, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, have really dominated the market, and their voices has really taken a lot of pull. Tim Pool's feeling it. That he went through a downsizing too. So we're staying flat, which is great. That's where we want to be. We're on trajectory to beat last year, which is also good. But Ben Shapiro is sick and tired of this. So they're calling him a failure and that he's no longer an influence and he only gets 6,000 views on his video. Folks, I get more than 6,000 views on my videos. It's not true. Ben Shapiro, if you go to his pages and he has multiple accounts, you go to his main feeds, he's getting millions upon millions of views a day. And this is just complete poppycock and hogwash from Scamdis Owens. But here is Ben Shapiro and what he had to say, and I thought it was just glorious. Oops. Sorry about that. It says, Ben Shapiro strikes back, and his comments today on Nick Fuentes, it says he'll never be able to get a human woman pregnant. Oh, gosh. That's like when you make fun of the French. How do you know a Frenchman is in your backyard? The trash cans are empty and your dog's pregnant. Oh, right. So that's ouch. Ben Shapiro went low blow on Nick Fuentes. On Tucker, he said, victim of demon scratching. Candace, he says, connoisseur of French testicles. And Megyn Kelly says, is a click-whoring grandma groiper. I love the fact that he called Megyn a whore, because she is. She doesn't sell her body. She sells her brand and her mind to the highest bidder. So sorry about that. I mean, I really like Megyn Kelly in a lot of ways, but she's been pretty fake for a while. But yeah. Here is Ben Shapiro talking about the bag lady of the internet, and he's talking about Candace. Watch this.
Well, it's also why the Washington Post is happy to quote Candace Owens, the ranting bag lady of the internet, to explain that the Daily Wire's numbers are down. Again, that alliance between the left and the woke right is totally real, and it's active. This is why they are getting together to formulate stories. It is why they are repeating the same talking points. Now, Candace says that the Daily Wire's numbers are down because people don't want to be lectured. And this is the teenage point of view from Candace and Megyn and Tucker. They're all saying the same thing. They don't want to be lectured. Don't lecture me. Megyn tweeted in March 2026, you're the coward, Ben, and your moral preening, priggish lectures and holier-than-thou judgments are the reason you are losing fans, and more than that, friends, at a record rate. All these people are on the same script. They're all on the same script. And also, because as people who traffic in crap for sweet, sweet lucre, they would love to be spared the lecture. They don't want to be lectured as they grift. So they're going to do the same thing that, a 13-year-old boy would do if caught doing naughty things on his iPad. They don't want to be lectured. Don't you lecture me. Well, it turns out sometimes in life, people need lectures in decency, in reason, and in truth. People who smear the wives of murdered men or cover for people who smear for the wives of murdered men. Those people deserve lectures.
Nice. Perfect timing. James Brown. Ha! Papa got a brand new bag. Donate $25. Keep up the good work. We will. Love your music, James. Amazing stuff. Good to have you here, man. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate the $25. Ah, touch yourself. The bag lady of the internet. That's pretty good.
That is.
Connoisseur of French testicles is also pretty damn good. But I think I like the bag lady of the internet.
Bag lady of the internet.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
Did you
so
see? Did you see the picture?
Yeah. Her looks like she's got blacked out teeth.
Well, it's
Yeah.
also why the Washington Post is happy to quote.
Yeah, look at that.
We was time traveling and
She ate.
It's pretty
To explain
funny.
that the Daily Wire's numbers are down.
She's something else.
Again.
Man. It's amazing. I would just like somebody to tell me, if they could, what is it about Ben Shapiro that what message has changed since 2016? Now, I've been watching Ben Shapiro before that, but since 2016, can anyone tell me what message changed with Ben Shapiro? He's been wrong about a lot. He was wrong about COVID. He was wrong about President Trump. He's openly admitted that. He was wrong about many a thing. But that's not the question. Whether he's right or wrong isn't why people aren't watching him. What views of his are antithetical to yours? And everyone is going to say he's not America first. Okay, that's not what you mean. Be honest. Oh, he supports Israel and Netanyahu. No, that's not why. Why don't you be honest? He's a dirty Jew. Yep, that's it. That's what you think. And that is why you think it. And the thing is he's always been a Jew. You just didn't care until people told you to care that he's Jewish. And this is the problem with October 7th. And this is resonating through the halls of conservative politics. And this is where you get the woke right. These are the people who believe that Israel runs the world, that they been kicked out of 109 countries due to something that they've done, that they run the porn industry, that they're the Epstein elite class, that the Rothschilds, the Bolshevik Revolution, the USS Liberty, they believe that Judeo-Christian ethics need to be repudiated. And the interesting thing is that Nick Fuentes had a spot today, which I thought was really, I want to talk to TS about, remind me to ask him, is Nick Fuentes said, well, the next grift, it used to be, we're the holy partner of Christians and Jews are together, and Jews and Gentiles, celebrate our love of God together. And, we will go to the promised land. All this other bullshit is what he calls it, and says that used to be the pitch. Well, nobody's going to buy that anymore. Nobody's going to be pro-Israel anymore. That ship has sailed. Everyone now hates Israel. So what they're doing now, as he says, is that they're focusing on Judeo-Christian ethics. And they're saying, well, Western civilization was built on Judeo-Christian ethics. Therefore, we need the Israelis. And this is the Israelis. This is the new push. This guy is a complete dildo. That has been since I've been this high. Judeo-Christian ethics have been from 1700s on. You take a look at the Old Testament. Our entire Bible is based on it. The Old Testament and New Testament and the New King James Version sit side by side. What are you talking about? Jesus was a Jew, you moron. But this has been practiced, and Western civilization was established from our Constitution, the Articles of Confederation, the Bill of Rights, everything, even the Declaration of Independence to the English was riddled with scripture. Talking of better times, talking about a moral injustice that was taking place. The problem with people is Nick Fuentes is super intelligent, man. The kid is just amazing, smart, but he's so stupid because his experiential learning literally is nothing. This kid was thrown into from his basement onto millions of dollars and a huge program, and he has all the answers in the world, but none of the insight to actually resonate with people who know better. And this is the problem with him. So it's good to see Ben Shapiro fighting back. I hope he continues to do it. We'll see what he does.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was going to ask
Sorry,
if
that was
you
a
could
little
turn
long.
the fan down.
No, I'm burning up.
Okay.
I mean, can you put on a parka? It's at 1.
Oh, I didn't.
How low
realize
do you
that.
want me to go here?
There, I thought it was at 6. I felt like it was. That's fine. Keep it
It's
at 1.
not at 6. If you really are that cold, are you that cold?
My arms are cold.
It's summer.
It's not technically summer.
It's 80 degrees outside.
71.
It's also 6:30 at night. It was 80 today.
I can go put on a hoodie. That's
No, you could, but then people are going to be like, oh, God, Matt is such a chauvinist dick. Okay, I'm now literally at 1. Do you see it? Is that any better?
Yeah, it actually is. And it feels, low I'm totally cool with.
It was low. It was on 2.
I don't know, but
it goes up to 6. That's about as low as it goes, except for 1. Off is the low. Okay, we'll do it. Here we go. With respect. Parents contributing. Have you heard about this? These. It's not a rave, but these teenagers are going to these events in DC, like all getting their mopeds or getting on motorcycles, and then gangs of them, and then harassing businesses and harassing people on the streets. This is huge in DC, and they'll get these mopeds and these standing scooters, and they will go out, and old ladies, and they'll push them over and all drive by or kick them or throw stuff at it. It's insanity.
I have not heard this at all.
Judge Janine's going to talk about it. Here it is.
And as we grapple with this problem, there is one area that hasn't been discussed. Parental involvement has been a noted gap in any discussion. And I am here to say, as the United States Attorney in the District of Columbia, that ends today. Starting today, my office will aggressively prosecute parents under DC's curfew law, and the specific statute that we will use is a violation of DC Code 22-811, and it involves contributing to the delinquency of a minor. This statute makes it unlawful for an adult to enable, facilitate, or permit a minor to engage in delinquent acts. The penalty is up to 6 months imprisonment. So if the evidence shows the parent knew, or should have known, or permitted, or failed to prevent participation, we're going to charge them. And if you drop your kid off and you fail to supervise them, or you let them skip school to join the chaos, you are going to face fines, court-ordered classes, and possible jail time.
Yeah, what do you think about that? First of all,
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, real quick. I get cold too. Just because you get cold too doesn't mean you guys are right. If it's 80 degrees outside, the AC comes on. Okay, you women literally have it 80 degrees in the house during the winter, and I deal with that shit. Okay, you put on socks, you dress like an Eskimo to bed. Sex is nearly impossible because I have to somehow find the hole, and there aren't any flaps in your freaking armor and your medieval garb that you wear to bed to stay warm. Then you put your cold feet on us, which we go ahead and literally shrivel up to basically an innie. We might as well be a female because you can't find our penis anymore. So excuse me if that when it gets hot, I turn on the AC and then you bitch, oh, now it's cold. So you know what? We're damned if we do. And explain to me this, 72 in the winter is still the 72 in the summer. I don't give a shit what you say. You guys are crazy. You're like, 72 in winter feels so much different than 72. No, it doesn't. No, that's your head. That's your woman emotions and your estrogen taking over. And your logical, reasonable husbands are sitting here going, oy vey.
Well, here's the thing.
You walked into that. It's your fault.
To defend me?
No.
You don't want...
What'd you say? Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, please. Go ahead. Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah. Nice try. You missed that one. You forgot to change the sound.
I did. Sex is going to be great tonight. It's going to be violent and angry. Go
It's
ahead.
been too long.
Go ahead. Yes.
You don't want me to bundle up and put on a freaking parka and wear sweatpants and
I have never
shoes in
dictated
the
how
summer.
you dress to bed. What I have said is that if the negotiation of a sexual process, like doing the beast with two backs or the mattress mambo, will not take place when you are in full dive gear. It just won't take place. Okay. When you're literally you have a scuba mask on and neoprene wetsuit, it's not going to happen.
Now I know what to
now
wear
I can
when I'm
roll
not
you
in the
around in
mood.
some oil and pretend you're a seal. And we can go, but that's about as much as we're going to get. I can throw you a beach ball and you can bounce it on your nose. But a full vortex wetsuit is not going to make our sexual copulation happen any faster.
And now I know what to wear when I'm not in the mood.
So you're going to wear it always? I love that in the movie The Money Pit. And Shelley Long and Tom Hanks are just going back and forth, just nailing, just constant, just insults. And she goes, "You are so much less, or you are so much less attractive when I'm sober. And Tom Hanks goes, thank goodness it's not that often. Oh, dude. And she's like, all right, that's enough. Anyway, listen, you can get cold. That's fine. Just please stop pretending that you're on the moral high ground. Matt, yes.
I didn't say I was on the moral high ground.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the people in chat. Jeez, you just. Mrs. is backing you up. Darla says, I use a heated mattress cover in the wintertime. I turn it on half an hour before I go to bed. Great. Nothing wrong with that. But do you know, folks, that you actually can extend your life considerably if you sleep it with 68 degrees? 72 degrees isn't good for you. Your heart rate doesn't slow down. And you understand that your heart is based on a certain amount of heartbeats and then you die. That's just the way it works. Even if you don't have a heart attack, your heart, more often than not, is allocated a certain amount of beats, a certain amount of time, based upon your size, your weight, your overall health, genetics, and everything else. The slower your heart goes, the longer you live. Example, tortoise. Example, elephant. So slower heart rate, short lifespan, rabbits, mosquitoes. Find out how quickly a mosquito beats. Find out how quickly a rabbit beats. So the more beats you have, the more stress it puts on the heart. So when you're sleeping in a not a hibernative state, basically, which is called REM, a 68-degree room can actually add time to your life because you're going to have less beats per minute. Your body slows down, blood flow slows down, and everything gets into a homeostasis that's conducive to sleep and full REM. So sleeping in 72 is not good for you. Sleeping in 76 isn't good for you. Sleeping in a 68-degree room with enough covers to keep your head cool, which if you keep your head cool, the rest of your body stays nice and cool too. That's the way it works. Seriously. Okay. Good conversation.
Thank you for the Mr. science class.
Sure. It's my pleasure. You know, sometimes people need lecturing.
Tim Nye.
What'd you say?
I called you Tim Nye, the science guy.
It's Bill Nye.
Bill Nye.
Not Tim. What do you think? You're thinking of Tim Allen from Home Improvement, which I
yeah. Time.
And then Bill Nye is, oh my God, like climate change. He's not even really a science guy. He's just a guy who plays the one on TV. Jose says, I'm suddenly having a hot flash.
That's funny.
Hot
flashes are no joke. Holy cow.
They're not. They suck. And remember, she had one on air, and I actually cared. You remember how caring I was? Yeah. But I could be sitting here having a hot flash, sweating my ass off under the studio lights, and she's like, suffer.
Turn the fan down, bitch.
See?
Yeah, Mr. White.
There we go.
Yes, science.
I was just commiserating. Ooh, good word. With Livy. I was commissarating.
There
you were
go.
eating in a
good,
you were
good
eating
Candace.
You were eating in a commissary? I don't understand. With at Livy Dumb, maybe I need to get a parka. Yeah. Yeah. Or your husband needs to get a spine. One of the two.
Oh my gosh.
Commissarating.
Commissarating.
Serrating, you were cutting comms? Lima Charlie. I can't hear anything. He's Oscar Mike. No? Okay. Here is.
Apparently, we're not going to talk about that video.
Then wait a second.
We
and
just
then
watched
and
it.
then,
We went totally off topic.
And then, real quick, and then Tommy, I think, said mopeds are not bikes. I know that, but they do bikes, they do mopeds, they do scooters. And then he says, I think the Lord Stanley is coming to the Avalanche. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. I don't think either of us want to. Las Vegas is a good team. I don't believe they have the weapons to beat the Avs. If Minnesota couldn't beat the Avs, I don't think there's anyone in the league who can beat the Avs. So everyone's like the Canes can. You guys, since when has the Canes gotten out of the Western or the Eastern Conference?
Canes have had the easiest time skating through the first two rounds.
I think
they didn't face any opposition.
Montreal and Buffalo are going to give them everything they want.
Yes.
And then you got to go face the Avs in their home ice, and then you're going to beat the Avs 4 times in a row. How are you going to beat the Avs 4 times in a 7-game series? I don't know how that's possible. It's number 1 defense, number 1 offense. Their power play is number 1 in the playoffs, by the way. I don't know if anyone knows that now. Number 1 in the yeah.
It would have been nice if that's happened all season.
Why? Who cares? Anyway,
playoffs.
So let's talk about that video. Judge Ginny and everyone forgot it now. Okay. So you can say whatever you want. No one's going to remember.
Well, I think it's fantastic.
Why?
And because if these parents are letting their kids go out and do this, they need to be held responsible. Now, I know some people are going to be like, well, what about the kids are sneaking out and the parents don't realize that? Well, she said
that's also answers the question.
Yeah, she said if they are aware. That's going to be their warning that their kids are doing something. And then if they don't do something about it and the kid continues.
Let me ask you a question real quick. If a dog jumps the fence repeatedly and then goes out and bites somebody, is the owner responsible?
Yes.
Okay, then why isn't the parent responsible if they sneak out?
Exactly. So I can.
No. I'm asking you a question. Should that also be contributing to the delinquency of a minor? If your kid constantly sneaks out and you don't stop it from happening, are you now responsible?
Yeah. I mean,
of course you are. Of course.
Absolutely.
If we're going to hold the standard to a dog, we better hold it to a kid that can actually understand English, most likely, and that you can pull a belt out and beat the living snot of when you can't even do that to a dog. You can't even spank a dog. You've got to be like, oh, woofy, don't do that anymore.
Woofy.
Let's build a higher fence. But with a kid, what's wrong with you?
You know, back when I was in high school, my brother was 14, if I'm not mistaken, 13 or 14. Him and his group of friends, they decided they were going to start sneaking out at night and taking parents' cars out for joyrides.
Right.
And this was a couple of weeks that they were doing this. No one knew, but of course it's the 90s. There's no security cameras, anything like that. They're sneaking out, right?
Yeah.
No one locks their windows or doors. And
right, it's Montana.
Yeah, it's
Montana. You have one Mexican up there, and you guys took care of him right away.
And what got them in trouble is one of them got into an accident and hit another car, and it just happened to be the DA. And it came crashing down, and that kid spilled his beans, and every single kid got in some serious trouble.
They have cars in Montana?
Yeah, I know. And
Are you sure it wasn't a horse?
And my brother, my mom's car was getting work done, and my uncle was doing it at his shop, so he loaned us an extra car. My brother took that car and went into the ditch with that car. Not only did my uncle kick his ass, but my dad and my mom kicked his ass too. And he never did it again. So it took us a while to figure out what was going on, but he didn't do it again afterwards. So if these parents don't know what's going on with their kids, okay, once, fine. I get that. Maybe the kid, maybe you're not as attentive as you need to be. But once you understand that your kid might be sneaking out, and you don't do something to either prevent it or let the kid know, hey, there's consequences, then yeah, you are absolutely 100% responsible, and you deserve to get the worst parent of the year.
Yeah, I
award.
snuck out. I think every kid snuck out. But what I didn't do is go hold up a liquor. Of course you didn't. Where were you going to go? Were you going to go frolic with Snow White with the bears
Apparently
and the
steal my
rabbit?
mom's car and go for a joyride. I don't know.
You guys were poor. You only had one car.
That's right. We only did have
so
one
how
car.
are you going to steal her car? I think they would notice if it's gone. It's like, honey, where's the car? First of all, you live
How did my brother take it for 2 weeks and we didn't notice?
I don't know. Your brother does a lot of stuff that I don't understand. Dude, I don't even recognize him. My God. Like, I saw that picture of him. Holy shit.
He looks a lot like my dad.
No. If I saw Chris on the street, I wouldn't know who he was. I mean, I relatively look the same. You look the same. Chris, I don't even. Leah looks the same. Your mom looks the same. I wouldn't recognize Chris at all. That beard, holy moly. Anyway, so hold him accountable. I completely agree. Matt, you ever have those busybody wives in PMQs housing that try and raise your kids? We had that growing up where you get a whopping on behalf of your parents. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I never had any base experience because my father was out long before that. But living in the resi neighborhoods that we lived in, it was communal. So no, I've never experienced that. Our neighbors, everyone got along. Like, we skinned our knee, our next door neighbor put hydrogen peroxide on it, a little bit of Neosporin, gave us a Band-Aid and gave us a lollipop. I mean, I had my hand slapped. I had my mouth slapped by my neighbor. My mom and dad didn't do anything. We all raised each other's kids. It was very communal. So that's what I grew up with. So
we did cow tipping. That was like the biggest rave. Or dragon mane.
People wonder, like, how did you get Olivia? I'm like she had any other appealing options? I mean, seriously, what else was she gonna have? She saw the first handsome guy she saw and she fell in love. Is there fraud or isn't there in California? Well, Katie Porter was on the debate stage last night, and this is interesting because they literally admit that there's fraud, and they're so stupid. They don't understand. Here it is.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll let the lawyers battle that one out, but there's also a lot of fraud that happened under Javier's watch that we know about. Let's just stick to the facts. As Attorney General for the state.
All right, so Javier's up there. He's a big D. And then you got Katie Porter in there, who's an all red, which is, okay, lady.
You don't need red to stand out.
Seriously, and you're wearing the wrong color. It should be blue, but you don't want to look fat against the backdrop. So you wear a contrasting color. It's not, the only thing that would do well for you is a burqa. Okay? I'm just letting you know. A hijab.
Maybe a gag? That could do good for her too.
Do you want to gag me? Yeah, now. Maybe now. Hi. Hi. Hi.
No, you gotta, hi.
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 Do you want to gag me?
You okay?
Kinda. Now. All right.
Don't get us started on movies.
Here it is. Here it is.
Of California.
Exactly.
As HHS Secretary, Javier Becerra
Xavier Becerra. What a horrible name.
oversaw a growing bureaucracy that we now know put out $32 billion worth of fraudulent unemployment claims, billions of dollars of fraudulent hospice claims. He wasn't minding the shop. I mean, the
Now watch Katie Porter come in here and save the
Biden
day.
administration had to sideline him during COVID. This is not
you,
the
Mr. Mahan.
leadership we need.
Thank you, sir.
Lawyers battle that one out, but there's also a lot.
So the clip didn't show it. I'm sorry. But she's the one that set up that question. And she's the one that went after Javier. So she openly admits that this is taking place in California, that fraud is taking place. I thought the Democrats completely denied all this. I thought fraud wasn't taking place. Oh, amazing that they openly admitted on the debate stage. But blame each other, right?
Of course.
Of course, they trade barbs and do it that way. Don Lemon can't understand black MAGA. This is great. This is the whitest black guy in world history. Don Lemon. Here it is.
I cannot understand, and maybe you can explain it to me, how anyone could be black and be a MAGA supporter right now with what has happened, especially with what before that for me, but what has happened with voting rights in this country and what they're doing. I don't get it. I don't, and some people are defending it, even black MAGA, black folks, black lawmakers. Like, look, it's similar to the log cabin Republicans, and I can't see how how gay Republicans.
Bro, why are you wearing lipstick? Maybe someone could riddle me that.
I think Harry Sasson likes it when he wears lipstick.
Is
Probably
Don
tells him
Lemon
to.
turning into Donna Lemon? I'm wondering, is this going to be...
He's getting fashion advice from Dylan Mulvaney.
Dude,
There you go.
Homeboy is wearing soft pink bubblegum lipstick. I mean, like, it reminds me of, the dress-up Barbie. You put makeup Barbie, that big one that you would have, and you can put makeup.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like that color of lipstick. Watch,
Yes, it
look at
does.
this.
Our gay people can be part of a party that doesn't even believe that they are, that they should exist, that doesn't believe that they are, I guess, deserving of the rights of every American. I don't get that, and I just don't understand how MAGA, there are black MAGA. Look, there's black MAGA. I don't know if you remember during, I think it was 24 election or whatever. The people.
Dude, why don't you just use the N-word? The way you're saying black MAGA, it's obvious that you're using it as a slur.
Which young black and MAGA. Oh, yeah. Wait, what? I mean, there are words that I just won't say here, but I think it's inappropriate. I will say, self-hating is one term that I would use for it. Naive is another term that I would use for it. And
Dude,
then a milder.
It's just all emotional diatribe. It's just literally verbal diarrhea. He didn't say anything. Why? Why do you disagree with people? Here's a real simple response. Olivia, right here, who is not necessarily
I'm
lotion?
putting lotion. My hands are dry.
Warming up your hands. So here's a question.
Yes.
Why would black people support MAGA? Now, take a second for me. And all you've learned, and show, this is your wax on, wax off moment. This is wax the car, sand the deck, paint the house, side by side. Okay? And you're going to block it all. Okay? This is, look I, always look I. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Show me sand the floor. Look I, always look I.
Thank you, Mr. Miyagi.
So you're going to use your kung fu to tell me, why do you think there are a group of black people, growing group of black people who are repudiating Democrat policies and moving towards MAGA.
Because they're finally waking up, forming their own opinions, and realizing that the Democrat Party doesn't have their best interest at heart. They don't care about them.
Why? How do you know that? That's emotional. Give me some facts. How do we know that?
We know that because they are not doing anything to help them in the inner cities.
Okay, like
feed and welfare, and they're not doing anything. They're ignoring the inner cities.
Okay, they're ignoring the inner cities. What else?
When people want to do the school choice, they're slapping it down and not letting these black families take their kids to better schools.
Okay, what else?
That's another thing.
Chartering, that is what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah.
And school choice and vouchers. Okay. But is there more?
I'm pretty sure.
Well, you know there's more.
I know there's more.
So what else is predominant in the black community more than anything else for single females? What's their solution to
welfare?
And
abortion.
Abortion. Right. So eugenics. Okay. What about the voting plantations? That's what they are, right? What about the criminology that's going on in black society? What about recidivism and releasing criminals back into these neighborhoods, creating these megatropolises of organized crime and inside these neighborhoods? That's huge. But I'm
going to go one step further.
Okay, all right.
And I think it is a lot of young black youth are starting to wake up.
Yeah.
And realizing that just because I'm black and just because my grandparents and my parents told me I had to vote Democrat does not mean I have to.
Well, that's
and
right.
They're starting to think for themselves.
But why? And we're going through that. But the history is that they've been lied to by the Democrat Party. And Obama stood up there and basically told them, black men, you need to vote for black people. And they're redistricting. They're saying, no, you can't create black and white districts and brown districts and yellow districts and female districts and male districts and old districts and new districts. You must have all black people. Why don't you have all black people in one district? Well, that's segregation, you douche plows. That's racial. You can't do that. And people are realizing it. And they're saying, why is it racist to have non-homogenized districts or non-chocolate milk districts? Why is that a bad thing? Why is it wrong to make politicians represent in my district, in my neighborhood? The only thing that black politicians do is go, hi, I'm the black Democrat candidate. Vote for me. He's not in the neighborhoods. He's not at the churches. He's not in the slums. So why not consolidate these districts, make them based upon the actual demographics of the United States, which would come down to about 71% white, 16 to 17% black. You're taking Hispanics along in that with the white population because Latinos, which is just stupid. Hispanics are actually labeled as white people in the census, which needs to be fixed. But then, of course, you have your other nationalities, Native American and Somalian and Hindu and everything, Vietnamese and Korean, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But predominantly, you're seeing a large portion of the representation of these districts based upon the demographics of the United States. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the way it should be. But you're right, they're waking up, but they're waking up to these policies that we've been talking about that they never get anywhere with black people. It started with people like Ice Cube. Started with people like Larry Elder, Damani Felder. These are people who came from black neighborhoods who were told, vote Democrat. Vote Democrat. You have to vote Democrat. Why? Why do I have to vote Democrat? Because if you don't, the racists are going to get you.
You know, I thought the SAVE Act wasn't racist anymore. It's now sexist. That's what the whole spiel has been the last couple of months, is that it's based on the females. The women aren't going to be able to vote.
They know damn well that the reason, okay, here's the thing. You want to know what the Democrats are doing, everybody? I'll tell you right now. The reason why they don't want the SAVE Act, nobody really answers this question. It's the same reason they didn't want citizenship tests when it came to the census, because it allows them to gain House seats. What they do is allow illegals to come in. They gerrymander these districts to count all the illegals who've come in, or based upon Democrat voting blocks, based upon color, and go ahead and create these super districts where they get full representation. They get like 80-20 representation for Democrats, and it becomes a Democrat stronghold. Well, we know that's the census. They may not be able to vote, but what they can do is represent how many House seats they get based upon the population. So if they do that, then now you have to ask the question, what is their motive and everything else? It's the same thing. It's about cheating. It's about having illegal representation. It's about having illegal votes. It's about not having paper ballots. It's about not verifying ID in every single state, especially in the 13 blue havens, which have absolute control and zero representation for Republicans or 1 or 2, based upon a 60-40 split or 55-45 split in the party affiliations. They do this because they don't want accountability. Why do you think they're redistricting everything? Because here's this video right here. Watch this. Because now we have another one that's just fallen. And I told you this was going to happen. And I hate continuing to say I'm right. But once again,
you're right.
I'm right. Here is another update. South Carolina has just done this. Remember, I told you South Carolina was going to be in play. It wasn't even on the map. Well, watch this. South Carolina. Watch what's happening.
Georgia and South Carolina are the latest states to enter the redistricting fight. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster will likely call a special legislative session next week to redraw the maps there. Democrats are struggling to respond. They believe this is an effort to cancel black representation.
So
Here's
stupid.
Chief Congressional Correspondent Chad Pergram.
Redistricting and race.
They've also been trying to eliminate, teaching America's history, right? Whitewashing America's history.
Democrats accuse Republicans of engineering a Southern strategy, stamping out black lawmakers.
It's about race. We've seen this before.
So let me get this straight. Republicans are actually doing what Democrats did with the Southern strategy? Oh. Maybe they'll get the Great Society, too, and maybe we can jump on Manifest Destiny. Wouldn't that be great?
Looking at losing possibly 19 members of the Congressional Black Caucus.
Republicans say turnabout is fair play, since no Republicans represent any district in New England.
I think that's a problem, and I think it's out of whack, it's out of balance.
South Carolina initially balked at drawing new maps, but the Palmetto State reversed course after President Trump demanded that Republicans, quote, get it done and be bold.
Or it's because Virginia tried to gerrymander the entire state and make it a 10-1 blue stronghold right outside of D.C. and make it little D.C. Oh, that didn't have the effect they thought it did.
And courageous.
People of South Carolina are very supportive of President Donald Trump. They understand perfectly that we're in a conflict, a nationwide conflict.
New South Carolina maps could mean former House Majority Whip Jim Clyburn can't win. Still, Democrats believe they can seize the House despite a shrinking map.
There are 45 districts in play that we've identified as opportunities to flip in this upcoming midterm election.
Democrats are banking on Republicans overplaying their redistricting hand.
The American public gets to make this decision. That's the great thing about American democracy, and we're working.
That doesn't sound like much of a concrete plan, though, Mr. Morelli.
I thought I was going to share my concrete plan.
Well, but that.
The Supreme Court nullified districts based on race. That's why Georgia is drawing new maps, but those districts won't apply until 2028. Brett?
Chad Pergram live on Capitol Hill. Chad, thanks.
I don't remember doing the census in 2020.
We got to introduce TS real quick, and then we'll do that. Folks, T.S. Dixon has entered the house. Welcome to the show. T.S., welcome, buddy. How are you?
Great, Matt. Hey, Olivia, how are you guys doing?
We're doing great. Let me get the
glad to have you here.
Let me get the camera fixed and get everything all purty for you. Good to see you, man. I'm going to zoom out real quick, and because I had you zoomed in from last time. I love your new background. It's very nice looking.
My bookshelves.
Yeah, it looks good, man. It looks good. We can't see the whole thing. So, brother, what's going on? How's life? How's everything with you?
Things are good. Book's doing good. Family's doing good. The country, has been better, but, we'll continue plugging away, fighting for it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot has changed since we talked a lot about when you were on the show talking about Iran and where we would be, and some of our predictions on that. Folks, just FYI, donations are up. So TS is going to be on. Usually we hold donations. Don't do that. Don't bother. Just throw them on in there. What are your thoughts on Iran? What are your thoughts on President Trump, his presidency, where he's at, and would like to get some thoughts, and then obviously talk about your book.
Yeah, well, my main focus, and I think the conservative movement as a coalition needs to keep our focus, is on the reform of Western countries, and and for us, that's the reform of the United States, which is the leader of the Western coalition of nations. And so we want these conservative reforms, and we're getting distracted by all sorts of different things. We got about 5 amazing months of reforms in 2025, and then obviously something happened behind the scenes. We don't know exactly what. It would be speculation to to say what it was exactly, but something changed behind the scenes in the back rooms, and Trump pivoted away from the reforms and towards this war agenda, and this war of choice agenda, really. And so we've had these multiple military campaigns, surgical strikes, and now this incursion into Iran with the economic fallout that's followed. And now you see a lot of there's a lot of market manipulation going on now, and a lot of people getting rich off of the ability to basically press a button, make market go down, release the button, market come up, press it again, it go down, comes. I mean, that's a lot of power. A lot of money can be made right there. And so we see a lot of that happening. We'll see what happens as a result. The actual results of his summit in China was Xi. And okay, so we basically pivoted from a domestic reform presidency to a foreign military and foreign policy world president focused presidency, and that's basically what we've got right now. And I'm concerned that it is going to cost us the midterms.
So you're against what's going on in Iran right now. You're not a big fan of that.
If there is legitimate reasons to do surgical military operations, I'm in support of that. But I'm not in support of a replay of Iraq or Afghanistan, no.
Would you compare these two to Iraq and Afghanistan, sheer scope and size and amount of commitments from U.S. forces here? Because the amount of people we have on the ground isn't even remotely close to Afghanistan and Iraq.
No, I wouldn't put them in the same category yet, but I would just caution that if they move forward with a ground surge and move forward with a ground war, it'll be a tough roach trap for us to extract ourselves from. And
it'll be worse.
Probably be more than a decade-long commitment.
Yeah, I agree with you. On that aspect. Yeah, it's worse than Afghanistan and it's worse than Iraq. And actually, it has both. So if you could take Afghanistan and Iraq and smash them together, you basically have the terrain inside of Iran, and it is a tough go of things for sure. Good point. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I picked your brain on it, because I agree with you from a perspective of insertion. I think that's dangerous, and I'm fine with kinetic precision strikes. JD Stillwell donated 15. Good Red Friday. Thank you so much, JD. But I'm not okay for a long-term ground invasion, and I think Karg Island is a death trap. I think that's stupid to go on there. If you want to hit it and flatten it and ruin their ability to go ahead and resupply some of our direct, I wouldn't say enemies, but I would say people who we are in conflict with for global supremacy, and that's really what we're looking for here with the almighty dollar and military might, fine. But putting Marines or going a ground invasion, I think would be a tragic mistake. So you and I agree on that. There was a video you sent me. You want to talk about that? Which part of that did you want to see? I've got it all teed up for you, and I would love to start this conversation about it.
Yeah, I don't know what clip that you have, but a big theme right now, I think, with Trump's presidency, which not all is lost. Trump has probably done more for the conservative movement than any president we've had in the last 50, 60 years. So I praise him for that. It's amazing how much money, fortune, effort, energy, time, voting, goodwill, emotion, everything has been put in by the American people and the conservative movement, the apparatus, to get him back into office, only to get 5 months of what we asked for and what he campaigned on. That's a tough pill to swallow. I don't think all is lost. I think we are up against a major world change coming up we haven't seen in a century. I think the last time we saw a change this big was the invention of electricity in the automobile and modern military machinery, and that produced 2 world wars. and produced the proliferation of communism throughout the East. So I think AI and robotics is bigger than that, and the socio-political economic changes that will result from these industrial revolutionary moment that we live in will produce similar economic, political, ideological, and military events, the likes of which will be, 5x, 10x, 20x what we saw a century ago. So I do believe we're in a cycle where we are reliving history, and we're at a moment where, like Teddy Roosevelt, a great reformer, did the hard reforms, the unpopular reforms to America at a time when he went against the establishment to reform this country, and really gave us the modern middle class, and really gave us the working week and all these other reforms, the end of child labor, all this stuff that he was going against very rich, very establishment political forces to do, that saved America from going into communism like the Russian kingdom did under the rule of Tsar Nicholas, where they did not reform. And so that's the figure that I was hoping Trump would be. He's a different kind of figure. I don't think he's a total loss. But if we don't have whoever follows him in the next presidential election come in as that Teddy Roosevelt figure, that reformer, then I think the clock is ticking, and we're in serious danger as the leader of the West, and the free world, I think, is in danger. As far as the clip goes, I think that the big theme right now is really fracture and division, divide and conquer. And so that's always the tactic of Marxists and leftists. That was the tactic of Marx, which was successful in the East, where they didn't reform their countries. They had abject poverty. And so Marx brought a gospel to the poor classes of classism and social justice, saying, you're poor, you're in abject poverty because the rich have oppressed and exploited you. You need to rise up and have social justice. And the way you do it is put us in power, and we'll reform and take over the country, and we'll punish them for you. And we'll give you what your just deserts. And so that was Marxism. Worked great in the East. You got Russia, the USSR, China, Venezuela, Cuba, Vietnam, et cetera, North Korea. But it didn't work here. And so these Germans in Frankfurt got together, these communists, and they were really frustrated, angsty communists. And they go, why doesn't it work in the West? Why doesn't it work in Britain and France and America? This is really infuriating. And they go, oh, our approach is wrong. And in these countries, you can't go after the rich versus poor, the bourgeoisie proletariat. You have to go turn the women against the men. You have to turn the minorities against the majority race. You have to turn the outcasts, the homosexuals, the transgenders, whoever, against the majority again. The normal, quote unquote, the normative people. And so you have to create this coalition of these new classes, a new class struggle for a new type of social justice. And this gave birth to modern feminism, radical feminism, critical race theory, gender theory, the climate theory, all of these things. And so it's divided the West so successfully. This theory from Frankfurt has been so successful, and we are really seeing sort of, in my opinion, like a climactic arc of the effectiveness of this philosophy on the psyche of the Western population. And so in this clip, you have feminists debating each other, and you have now these different types of feminists, some that are like traditional radical feminists, and then some that are like doctors that see the medical evidence of the harm that this movement is doing to young children, developing children with the health problems, the diseases, the chronic brain issues. And so they're arguing for motherhood and for children, but while keeping feminism and honoring the tradition of feminism.
Which is
and I wanted to speak to that. So sorry, that was a long setup to
No. There's a lot to unpack. So I want to go back real quick. So just to make sure I understand, we're comparing the artificial intelligence revolution. Kim Dreisen donated. Thank you for all you do. Thank you, Kimmy. We're this revolution, so to speak, that's being coined, and you hear it everywhere, right? The AI revolution.
Yeah.
We need power centers. It's going to be the next step. It's essentially sliced bread of today, right? So it's the greatest modern marvel, and it's the biggest invention we've had in 100 years. I don't agree in any way, shape, or form. But I'm confused at comparing it to the Industrial Revolution, textiles, plastics, conveyor belts, power tools, the things that ultimately created us. And only reason why we won World War II is because the United States intervention and our plants being able to change to start making plastics and pushing out planes at a faster rate than Germany could. Also with our bubbles for our bombers and you know, like I said, tanks and planes, and we were pushing out Spitties and Spitfires for England faster than England could do. They were making what, 13, 14 a month, and we were able to make 30, 75 depending upon the situation. So do I consider this to be another revolution like that? No, because I think what it's almost contradictory, because the Industrial Revolution created jobs, it created factories, it created plants. Automation ultimately made an impact on that, and then cheaper labor overseas made an impact by destroying that. But that wasn't until the late 65, 70s. The question I have for you is do you foresee AI truly being a benefactor for humans and creating more jobs? Because in my opinion, I think it eliminates jobs, if anything, especially the smaller businesses, right? So the things that mom and pops do now can be solved by AI. I mean, at the point now where people aren't even writing for themselves or letting AI do it. They're not even, using Photoshop anymore and earning some of the fruits of their labor. They're allowing AI to do just about everything for them. So do you see it being as an economic boom, or is this literally going to essentially put the chains on people?
Well, AI and robotics can either be a boon and a blessing to your country, or it can be its downfall. It can create unbelievable freedom and liberty and prosperity, or it can create unbelievable hell and domination and oppression. Those are the two possibilities and two promises of it. It depends on how the country deploys and regulates the technology, but it's more than just countries, because the world really is split into East and West, and you have two dominant power centers that then all the mid-size and small-tier countries basically acquiesce to. So really, whatever America does, Europe and the rest of the West will follow suit.
Will follow.
And whatever China does and Russia does, the rest of the East will follow suit.
Right.
So it really comes down to what these countries do. And right now it's not looking good in any of them. China already is deploying the technology for the purposes of oppression and tyranny. The U.S. is spearheading the development of these technologies, but then we've been basically sneaking all of the technology and the patents over to China so they could continue to cultivate the tyrannical version of it. But yes, I mean, it will destroy jobs. It's going to restructure the entire class system. And people that were happy and safe and entrenched in their class structure will suddenly be in a free fall.
How so?
Falling to the bottom.
How so?
Like, let's say you're a high-powered attorney or whatnot, and all of a sudden your firm downsizes because they replace you with an AI attorney,
right,
that knows the legal code 1,000 times better than you, and faster, and it's cheaper for the client.
Correct.
So all of a sudden you're out of a job. What if you're a general practitioner, doctor, and now you're replaced by a hologram? What if you are a film actor and you're replaced by people can just say, hey, I want to create me a 10-episode series of shows about this topic, or give me a 9th season of Stranger Things. And 10 minutes later, it's generated and you can binge it that night without any Hollywood woke stuff in there, because you can put in your prompt, like, don't put any woke crap in there. And then it's posted and other people can watch the stuff you generated, and maybe you get a royalty when they watch it. You got like 10 cents. So there's no more film crew. There's no more writers, directors, all that stuff.
Never thought of
what
it
if
that
you're
way.
a liberal?
Wait. We're agreeing with you, buddy. Go, cook.
What if you're a liberal professor teaching gender studies to your school for a low fee of $80,000 a year plus room and board, and all of a sudden a free AI is offered online where parents can just download it to their phone for a subscription of like $1.99 a month, and now Isaac Newton with his entire works can teach your 7-year-old science, right? Or soon we'll have holographic projectors, so they can actually see Isaac Newton in, his Victorian or whatever Elizabethan era garb, with his wig and stuff, or whatever he wore, teaching your kids. So all of a sudden, where does that liberal professor sit? So it could implode all of the liberal strongholds, right? But there will still be jobs. There will still have to be an economy, right? People will still have to work, but like certain jobs will go away, others will be created. And then you need a government. If you have a conservative government for the people, then there will be certain restrictions on what these oligarchs can do with their robot labor force. Like there will just be certain areas where you cannot replace human workers with robot workers, right? And there will be firm boundaries in place there. That maybe they'll only be allowed to do dangerous work or supplemental work. Or if you employ a robot, you must also employ a human. So that's what Western countries can do. But a lot of these like liberal strongholds can implode in on themselves, and we can watch them fall into their own footprint. But if you have a tyrannical system using and deploying the technology, then you can't say the wrong thing. The microphone will get you. The AI will report on you. You'll be demoted in your social credit score. If you go too low, they'll haul you off to the re-education camp. Your neighbors and your family will avoid you because if they're in proximity to you with their location tracker on their phone, they'll lose credit points. And you'll have to follow like new nonsensical leftist rules all the time to purity test that you are obedient to the regime, and you'll live in your little coffin apartment and you get your stipend. And if you don't spend your stipend, it'll disappear from your central bank checking account, and you'll get your state-sanctioned Netflix and porn and alcohol and weed, and that's life. That's the other version. And when they don't want to support you anymore, pay for your medical care, they show up with a van to take you to your retreat center, which is where you can get euthanized.
Right. Voluntarily, of course. Yeah. So here's the question. So I'm tracking everything you're saying, and anyone who's like, oh, this is far-fetched. Sandra Casey donated $10. The only place I get the truth of the news. Thank you, Sandra. It's not far-fetched because all you got to do is go through history. This just seems like a more complicated and complex version of what the pharaohs did to the Egyptian slaves, and which ultimately removing their language and reading and writing, their inability to document history. So they went to the caves and they painted, and they went ahead and took their hands. And when they couldn't take their hands, they would take their eyes. And when they couldn't take their eyes, they would take their tongues. And when they couldn't take their tongues, they would just end their lives. And the catacombs are filled, yes, with Tutankhamun and others, but it's also filled with slaves and the skeletons of slaves, and the petroleum reserves underneath these pyramids are incredible. The question is, how is this not different from that? Just a more high-tech version. Judge Clarence Thomas said it very eloquently against Joe Biden. This is just a high-tech lynching. How is this just not the exact same thing? A high-tech ability to turn us all into slaves? Because if we think the United States is going to do the right thing with this technology, I think that's pretty lofty.
The battle has continued throughout time. It's good versus evil. It's human nature. It's the yin and the yang. It's always the same thing. World War II, the same thing. The poles shifted, and America represented one side, Germany represented another. In the Cold War, you had the same thing. You have these conflicts throughout time, and today you'll have it again. Yeah. And will we be on the right side? Will we represent the right side? Well, if we reform, we may be. If we are taken over and ruled by leftists or these godless or pagan or occultist power brokers that we contend with, these globalists, then no, we most likely will not be on the right side. That's the risk. That's why reform is so crucial. And every generation, the whole ant colony of the country has got to work together to push a champion to the top to get the reform done. It happened with Teddy Roosevelt in the 1890s. It happened at several other key points. Lincoln, the forming of the Republican Party. 9 years later, Lincoln's in office. We have the Emancipation Proclamation after the Civil War, the North wins. You have George Washington and Thomas Jefferson with the Revolution. There are these key points where the ant colony, the whole organism of the country, comes together to make it happen against great resistance and barriers and challenges. But the reforms must take place, and then the West gets to move forward.
What's the
through
catalyst?
The next chapter?
What's the catalyst?
The catalyst is the great danger and the great oppression. And when the oppression becomes too great, where it's no longer tolerable, then those who are awake or waking up begin to educate themselves and take action. And so that's what we saw really with the Tea Party movement. You saw with some of the Ron Paul movements that were happening. You saw with then it became the MAGA movement. I think the MAGA movement, Trump has pivoted off the MAGA movement. The MAGA movement got him into office. He's sort of pivoted off that. He's in this he's aligned with the neocons and sort of lambasting a lot of the traditional MAGA personalities and whatnot. And so he sort of departed from MAGA, which he branded. And now he's
who's he lambasting? Who was a part of the MAGA movement?
Like, for instance, when Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene did the Epstein Act,
right?
And he went on the attack against them and turned them into political rivals and enemies.
Was this the time that they stood
release the Epstein files?
for standing in front of signs that said Trump is a pedophile and going ahead and instituting that complete lie? That's why Marjorie Taylor.
I've never seen them stand in front of those signs, but I will say that the Epstein Act was a good act, and Trump tried to kill it and stop it every step of the way, and used his bully pulpit against it, and ultimately was passed with such a great number, almost unanimous vote in the houses, that he was forced to sign it. It was illegal for him not to sign it, and then they still didn't release all the files. So that was sort of the turning point, I think, for the movement.
TS, I mean, very seldom do you and I disagree, and do I challenge you on things. But
sure.
I want to step back on this because that's not that's not the way I see it. If you take a look at the Epstein Act, what was Trump's number one concern? His comment was that this was a hoax. Now, that was used against him, and they said that Epstein and what Epstein did in the Epstein class was a hoax. That's not what he was saying. He said what the Democrats will do is go ahead and weaponize this and do what they did with Russian collusion, what they did with FISA tapes, or excuse me, the dossier, and then the FISA warrants and everything else, and the investigations that they did under the table, the wiretaps, the putting FBI inside of his cabinet, or excuse me, inside Trump Tower. These are the concerns that he had, is that they were going to weaponize. And what we found out from the release, I'm not sure what files we're looking for. There's well over 3.1 million files available now, and a lot of people haven't even read them.
Yeah.
But some of the things that I'm concerned with on that is that if you look at 2016, the FBI opened up a hotline, which was one of Obama's last remaining orders to do, which is to create this hotline to go ahead and do anonymous tips. And this went out to Democrat donors, and you're talking, millions of emails that went out to go ahead and start literally just slamming Trump and making associations and grandiose claims that were unfounded. This is why his name is mentioned over 1 million times or some shit, is because it was literally a Democrat plant to go ahead and malign him with Epstein, even though we know that Epstein, his lawyer, and others said that they were actually going after Trump, that their job was to go ahead and dethrone him and embarrass him because he blamed him for what happened in 2004 in Mar-a-Lago. So in my opinion, I'm questioning people like Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene, because we can get into Thomas Massie. I completely disagree. I don't believe this man's a libertarian. I believe he's an opportunist. I believe he's an obstructionist. The man votes for his Liberty score and then goes ahead and votes opposite of what he was saying 3 days before. I completely disagree. So Thomas Massie was never MAGA. He's done nothing but obstruct Trump since 2016. And Marjorie Taylor Greene is literally a whore. All she does is just go around and jump to whatever political party or whoever will give her the most attention. So I disagree. And those signs, where they stood in front of those signs, is absolutely a reality. I'll be happy to grab the pictures for you and show you.
Well, they might have been standing on a dais or at a podium where people had signs behind them.
Sure, they were.
I don't think that those were their signs. If that's the case, I believe that you have those photos, but I don't think they're those the signs. I've never heard them make any statement to that effect. So to me, that's like guilt by association. But I would just say that the Epstein files, forget about the politics, forget about the optics for Trump. And by the way, none of those FBI phone calls or alleged reports stuck. Nobody made big news out of those. They weren't ammunition. They weren't fodder. But let's not lose sight of the fact that this is blatant corruption. It's not a hoax. Multiple foreign governments and the CIA running a sex blackmail operation in our country to blackmail and control our politicians, our judges, our senators, our presidents, our scientists, our billionaires, our movie stars, et cetera, et cetera. And that this is being run not just with Epstein, but they were running a similar operation with P. Diddy and others.
Who's
and they're trying to sweep these things under the rug, hold them from the public. This is immoral. This is corrupt. This cannot stand in a Western country. And why? Well, because they're using the sexual exploitation of innocent children and teenagers in order to perform their statecraft, to control Western governments. And that is the problem. That is the thing that needs to be stood against. We need moral figures that are going to stand against these crimes, the corruption and the immorality that has infested and taken over the ranks of power throughout the Western world and the Western coalition. That's the problem. We cannot reform our countries if we can't stand against the crime of the establishment. And this kind of unseemly behavior by those who sit in power over us. It's unacceptable.
Mm-hmm. So just
whether it's good or bad for Trump, personally, Matt, I don't give a shit if it's good or bad for Trump and his reputation, his optics. I don't care. It's about these kids, and it's about justice for these kids, and none of them are getting justice. And many of them were murdered, dissolved in acid, thrown in the ocean, buried out in his ranch in New Mexico. And where is the justice for any of these kids?
Yeah, there's once again a lot there, and I'm not sure where that's coming from. I'm not sure where you're getting that. I understand
from the files, from the 3.2 million files.
Well, there were accusations of this. There's no credible evidence that any of this was taking place. There was a lot of grandiose stories over there. There was ties.
I'm not talking about the FBI telephone calls and reports against Trump. I'm talking about the actual evidence, the actual confessatory evidence from Jeffrey Epstein that is in his own words, in his own emails to other pretty notable, powerful figures in our establishment, where they are essentially confessing to crimes.
Yeah,
and nothing is being done about it. So that's why people are pissed off. That's why. And people that cover for it look like they are part of the problem of wanting to defend this establishment when they are doing these kinds of criminal activity.
Yeah. Here's.
Hang on one second. Mr. Hollandaise donated. Thank you. $75 says.
Thank you.
Halfway come on, dummy. Sorry, Dad.
Thank you,
didn't want to interrupt you guys. I just
no.
It's
good. It's good to interrupt sometimes so we can come up for some air. I once again, I know there was a lot of emails that were written. I don't know of any open case or any affidavits or any indictments that were brought up about New Mexico and children being buried. So what you're saying is that you're maligning President Trump, the DOJ, Pam Bondi, Marjorie Taylor Greene, but Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, all of them now, these people who we heralded as going to be that revolutionary moment that we were looking for, be these reformers, are essentially a part of the deep state now.
You know, I said back in March of last year on television that Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino were a huge mistake, and they should be fired and replaced immediately. I said that in March of last year. They were bumbling idiots.
You said that on my show. You did.
Yeah. I mean, they were terrible. They're not part of the deep state. They're part of a cover-up. They're covering up for the deep state and for whoever. I don't know who. I don't know exactly why. I could speculate and have theories, but then I'm not going to. But there is a reason they're doing this, but it is a massive cover-up. And they are not releasing, they are breaking the law. They're not releasing all of the necessary files that the law requires.
Once again, the only thing that I'm aware of that wasn't released is anything under federal indictment right now, which is actually sealed. And President Trump doesn't have any authority to go ahead and unlock federally protected.
No, that's not
files.
true. Todd Blanche, stated on the dais at the lectern that there were millions of other files, but that they were not going to release them.
What files?
All the files that had been released were all that anyone was going to get.
What files?
There's a giant remaining tranche of files. That's just the FBI tranche. There's a CIA tranche. Obviously, Mossad has a tranche. MI6 has one. Apparently, he was doing contracts for Russia. So obviously, the Kremlin has a whole tranche of documents. They've all got treasure troves of documents. And then, of course, the courts do as well.
Well, I just mentioned the courts, and you said that wasn't true.
No, they're not releasing these sealed court documents. No, there are more documents that law requires them to release that the FBI has in their possession. Terabytes and terabytes, millions of files that they have said from the lectern they are not going to release.
Okay. Yeah, I hadn't heard that as well. So obviously there's some things that I need to figure out, because I haven't heard a lot of it. Well, I've heard the accusations, but I'm talking about the claims of buried children in New Mexico. That one is interesting to me. These are the Epstein victims. The victims who, the ones all that were in attendance here were women all above age who went and took money and then took non-disclosure agreements and then came back and said that they were a part of a pedophile ring when they were all of age. And now making claims. But neuter the grand old pedophiles. Trump is a traitor. Believe women. This looks like a liberal protest of some sort. And Thomas Massie, Marjorie Taylor Greene are front and center. So it's not guilty by association. People said that Trump, because of Charlottesville, was a Nazi and a KKK member. I thought that was horrible. I'm not saying that. And I'm certainly not saying that Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie made those signs. But they have made their subtle innuendos that Trump's a pedophile because he wouldn't release the files. And isn't this exactly what the left wanted? Isn't this what they wanted, to create this distraction and division that you're talking about? Do nothing about the Epstein files, even though they had them in possession with 8 years with Obama, 4 years with Biden, did absolutely nothing about it. Trump went ahead and arrested Ghislaine Maxwell, went ahead and arrested under his DOJ. Epstein himself was what some people say an FBI informant. I don't know if that's true, but he did obviously work with the Palm Beach Police Department. What exactly should President Trump do when he has people who are supposed to be in his party, supposed to be supporting him, supporting the initiatives, the mandate that the people put forward, this reformist revolution that we're looking for, and then literally backbite and backstab him every chance they get?
Listen, I supported Trump all three campaigns, and I don't judge Trump. Trump is in a very precarious situation. Okay. Mm-hmm. There are certain moral red lines he's starting to cross. Mm-hmm. Especially if he goes and creates a massive war with a massive amount of casualties and death, I think that's a line of immorality that is difficult to come back from and difficult to justify in any way.
Sure.
I think he's in a tough position. I think he got our movement. I think he genuinely represented our movement. I think he got us as far as he could. And for some reason, last June, 2025, something changed. And he determined that whatever that was, he could no longer move forward with the reform. He had to pivot over to this new political strategy. And he wishes us luck, I hope, and at some point we'll have to pick it back up and try to move back down the field towards our end zone to reform our country and prepare for what's coming. But we're not going to get it during the rest of this second term. And I accept that. And I don't hate Trump for that. I don't judge him. I'm not negative on him. I appreciate what he did and how far he got us. And he completely changed American politics forever. Okay, and he brought American conservatism to the ascendancy. But something has happened. I mean, we have to be honest with ourselves. Something has changed. Something changed. He had to change course. And if he loses the midterms, he's going to change course again. He's a politician. He's decided He's not a reformer. He's a politician. He's made that calculation through his actions. That's clear. And it's not about morality. It's not about justice. It is about deals. It is about his legacy. It is about money. And so that's fine.
So you think we're in Iran for money?
No, I don't think we're in Iran for money.
Okay, then what's
I'm not going to say
changed?
why I think we're in Iran.
No,
but
you
I don't
should.
think he wanted to go into Iran.
You should say it. You should say it, TS. I want to know. I respect your opinion more than just about any other person I've ever talked to on the show. Just because we're challenging each other a little bit doesn't mean that we can't have a disagreement. I want to know what you think. Why is he in Iran?
Political pressure was applied to him in some form, and his arm was twisted, and he was forced to go into Iran. He didn't really have a choice. That's what I think. And now he's trying to figure out what to do now.
Who would do that? Who has the power to do that? I'm trying to understand. Do you think this is a foreign government? Do you think this is someone inside the deep state? Do you think they have material on him
I don't know.
linked to Epstein? I mean, what do you think?
Possible. I don't know. It'd be speculation, and I'm not trying to get sued by Donald Trump.
Yeah,
but
no, I understand. I don't want to get sued by Donald Trump either. Trust me, he ain't watching this. Well, all right. Well, listen, it's a large topic, and I appreciate your opinion on the whole thing. I think there's a lot of complexity when it comes to Iran, and you and I have had this, even when we were having our conversation. I'm going to take it from an intelligence perspective, and you're going to take it from knowing a hell of a lot about the globalists, knowing about Marxists, knowing about these movements, and hopefully we can come to some place. But there have been 78,000 terrorist attacks in the United States in the last around the world in the last 47 years, and Iran's been linked to 83% of those. That's a big concern for me. And you remember when we were sitting here, we talked about it. I said Iran's going to be the next hotspot, and everyone was saying China, and everyone was saying Russia. And I'm like, no, it's going to be Iran. And I think you understood that too. So, listen, I'm going to give you last word on this because I want to move on to the video you sent me, and I think it's a great topic. But last word goes to you on this. Go ahead.
Yeah, I support. We have the greatest military in the world, and I'm glad that we're no longer handcuffing our military. And I'm in full support of our U.S. Armed Forces, the Pentagon, and our effort to defend the homeland and do what's right for our best international interest. And when they have done a lot of these, foreign surgical strikes and whatnot, they've been very successful, like what Trump did against ISIS and Soleimani, and dropping the mother of all bombs in Afghanistan.
Caliphate, yeah, sure.
Yeah, so those types of things just demonstrate our military prowess. But when we then get into these sort of hornet's nest, these booby-trapped situations, I feel, like in Iraq, like in Afghanistan, like a Somalia, like a Libya, and the tragedy that we've seen in Syria, that's another big problem for me, this whole Syria thing. The fact that Trump supposedly destroys ISIS, and then you have the creator of ISIS, and one of the heads of Al-Qaeda, and he brings him to the White House and sprays perfume on him. Something changed politically there. There's pressure applied to Trump. He's not doing what he would do. That's not what Trump would do. So someone is forcing him to do that. And now you have this installed dictator over this terrorist, Islamist extremist over the good people of Syria, and they're murdering all of the Christians and the Alawites, and we're condoning it and supporting it. So that's not moral. That's not what the United States should be doing. He strikes Iran. He strikes their military targets, or they try to. They strike their nuclear facilities. They strike their government facilities. They kill the Ayatollah and his compound or his bunker. Okay, they do all of this, and it didn't seem to snuff them out. It seems like the flame survived, and the flame is growing. And it's a different dynamic. You have over 90 million people in that country. Their military has millions and millions of soldiers in it. So it's not like any other force that we've gone up against. And I go into the book how the strategy of globalism is always, always to exploit third world countries, exploit second world countries by using the military might of the first world countries, namely the United States. And if these countries, these regimes don't do what the globalists say, don't let their oil companies in, don't let their central banking system in, whatever, they call the president of the United States, they twist his arm, and they get him to invade. So this is military strategy that's, you know, at
TS,
this
we didn't
point, like 70 years
invade
old.
Iran. We didn't invade Iran. I don't understand. What do you mean we invaded? An invasion requires a ground force. We didn't invade anyone.
Okay, I mean, we attacked Iran. We attacked Venezuela.
No, we did not attack Iran. We retaliated from 47 years of attacks. From Khobar Towers.
Agree to disagree.
The U.S.
I mean, we can agree to disagree on that one.
We disagree with what? What part did we disagree
on? From Beirut, from the bombing of the Beirut base. Is that what you're talking about? We're finally getting even from the 80s. Is that what we're doing?
No, what I'm saying is I'm establishing a history of terrorism and attacks that have come out of Iran. If you want to get back to the overall oil and OPEC, we can talk about that was the English that started it. I agree with you 120%. But to say that Iran isn't running proxy and asymmetric warfare through 7 different countries, from the PJB to the Yemenis with the Houthis, to the Muslim Brotherhood, to ISIS-K, to Al-Qaeda, to Hezbollah, to Hamas, is all under Iran payroll. You think this is not what's happening in Iran? You think they're not extending their overall borders by creating chaos in every other Islam-run Arab nation and also with the Jews in Israel, that's not what they're doing?
I don't know what they're doing, but I know we're getting propagandized. But I will tell you, I honestly don't know what's true there. But I will say that I am very confident that one of the number one financiers and establishers of terror is the CIA. They're also one of the number one facilitators and operators of the drug cartels in Central and South America. So
we're going to talk about the 70s. We're talking about the 70s. Holy shit. Now we're really
I'm not talking about the 70s. I mean, yeah, we had Iran-Contra wars exposed, and Iran was involved in that too. But I will say that, the CIA was very instrumental in Al-Qaeda, and the Mujahideen,
yes,
in
they
Bin
were.
Laden,
yes,
in
they
ISIS.
Were. Yes,
they were instrumental in the poppy fields with the Taliban, the financing and the funding of the Taliban. So if you want to talk about a state sponsor of terror, I'm not talking about the United States, but I am talking about the CIA, who's run by the globalist power establishment.
Now you're talking about the United States.
That's where it comes back to, that it's a populist movement of the people, the conservative movement against the globalist establishment. And they're going to always try to deviate us and throw us off to this country, that threat, this threat, break our coalition apart, sick us against each other, create different camps and feud, have us feud against one another. But really, the great threat is that. And I honestly have a hard time believing Iran was as big of a threat as we were being propagandized to believe. I really do. I have a hard time believing it.
Fair enough. Good place to shift gears. You had a slide that you sent me, and the video, you said there was a timestamp in that area. Did you just want me to show the beginning, or was there a certain part you wanted me to show?
Yeah, it's a long video. I didn't have time to do that.
It's okay. It's okay.
Maybe play a random clip from the first 10 minutes, and we'll react to it.
All right, let's get to it.
And Deconstructionist Deep Dive.
You already know right there. There's something wrong with this. Let me get your picture back up. All right, here it is, and you let me know. I'm gonna. Oh, wow. This is, you know what? Let's just start at the beginning.
This isn't the video.
Well, this is the link you gave me.
Oh, that's a bad link.
Oh,
I can just tell you what it was.
Yeah, tell me.
I watched part of it when I was getting ready.
Yeah. So the Diary of CEO Fans, Deception and Feminism Debate.
Welcome to the Deconstructionist.
Oh, no, do the top one.
What do you mean top one?
There's 2 links.
Oh, okay. There's 2 links? Okay, hold on.
This professional 32 TWE SSD.
We can switch gears. This is how good we are. Let me just get past the ad.
Well, I do love trains.
Yeah, well, no, it's about the deconstructionist movement. It certainly is. They just have a train here.
I love the cat, too. I love the cat.
Yes, our cat. All right, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to close this window, and we'll open this up.
Maybe I'm seeing your desktop. I just see a see-through train.
You're not. Well, it is, because I have to reprogram the window. Listen, we're not Fox News here, brother. We got to do a little bit of work to get everything to.
I love the floating particles. It's beautiful.
Thanks. See,
there we go. This is it.
All right. So that I'm just letting you know that's the link you sent me, man.
Yes, this is it.
Okay, hold on. Let me get this up and let's go ahead and play it. All right. So you want me? Let's just go ahead and play the beginning and see where we're at. All right.
Unite women. It's split.
Louise,
Can you define for me what you mean by sexual revolution for anybody that doesn't know? Because it's going to be quite an important term today.
Right. So I think that there are two things, really. The ideological event, really, of the 1960s and 1970s. So this was a period of, not just in relation to sexual relationships, but all sorts of things, a period of really questioning and challenging traditional ideas, and particularly traditional Christian ideas about what sexual relationships ought to look like. I think actually the point that we've reached in terms of progressive culture is the assumption that those traditional ideas are necessarily questionable, are necessarily fit to be challenged. I think that's the ideological thing that we're talking about. But there's this other thing that happens at the same time, which is partially connected, which is a material change. So you have the introduction of the pill, the advent of safe abortion. Remember, historically, abortion is not safe. So you have the advent of safe abortion, and of course, it's decriminalization. You have things like the washing machine and central heating and all sorts of other domestic appliances, domestic technologies, which actually have been enormously important in changing sexual relationships, because all of a sudden it means that this basically takes less time to run a home, and so it becomes more possible for women to enter the workforce. So then you see this wave of not only changing marriage rates and birth rates, but also women entering the labour force en masse, and really some enormous social changes, like so enormous that it can be a little bit hard in 2025 to realise how enormous they were, because we've become used to them.
We'll talk about all of that today. Going clockwise then, Erica, the same question to you about your background and the work that's fed into the perspective you have.
This is the key part.
I'm a psychoanalyst in private practice. I'm an author. I write books about parenting, and the book I'm probably most well known for is my book Being There, and it's...
What an incredibly diverse panel. I was just kidding.
Basically about the neuroscience of attachment, or the importance...
She sounds like she would be. She looks very unhappy. Am I right about this? Let's find out.
No, she's good. She's a good guy.
Is she? Okay. All right. I didn't know. I'm guessing. All right. Let's find out.
In the first 3 years of a child's life, to create emotional security, which lays down the foundation for mental health in the future. And so from my perspective, I guess the conversation we're going to have, I should say right off the bat, I consider myself a feminist, but I consider myself a term that I like better and that my community uses, the people that I work with, and which is I consider myself a maternal feminist. Basically, there was a school of thought called maternal feminism, which really elevated women in their work as mothers and really talked about it as very important work. And so I'm not an anti-feminist, and I'm certainly for women to have choice. So it'll be an interesting discussion. I guess you could say I'm more of a centrist on this topic. As Louise said, there are parts of feminism that I think really helped women, and there are parts that really did a lot of harm to children.
And
that's
lastly,
the
Deborah,
clip. Thank you.
Yes.
Same question to you.
We talked about that last night real quick. Is the difference between feminism is why don't you just call it what it should be, which is being humanists. And it's interesting. I like that, maternal feminism. Go ahead. Help us understand what the rest of it kind of talks about and how you correlate that to today.
So what she's trying to do, she came up through the liberal education system, university system, the medical system, and she's really advocating for mothers to keep their children with them for the first 3 years of life so they can maximize their brain development and health and not cause them so much stress that it causes their brain to sort of burn out in certain little small regions like the amygdala, and cause them things like ADHD and these other brain abnormalities later in life, lifelong afflictions. And so she's really advocating for mothers to be mothers and to accept that role and to not think that's a lesser role, and to elevate that as a very honorable thing, an important thing, not just for mothers and families, but for society. And so she's really on this crusade. So I really honor the work that she's doing. But she always seems to like placate and pay homage to the feminist movement, right, which has done so much harm, which has caused this harm. And again, societies and people pendulum swing. We're in one extreme, like a super male-dominated culture, and then we pendulum swing. Now we're in a super female-dominated culture, one could argue. And what's the result of that? You know, what's the fallout of that? What are the side effects of that? You know, they fought the patriarchy, and now we're somewhat in a matriarchy. And you know, what does that look like? And we're seeing what that looks like. And so I just was watching this stuff. understanding where she's coming from, appreciating the work she's doing to support and back up mothers and back up the raising of children and not throwing your kids in daycare. You know, I understand people are in situations they got to work. Not everyone can do that. But, you know, she's fighting for families and for kids. So I appreciate what she's doing as a doctor and as an advocate. But I just was watching it going, lady, do you know anything about the history of the feminist movement? Because the sexual revolution at that first, like super feminist, like radical feminist was talking about, with the sexual revolution, the advent of like household technologies and the sort of the changing of the household dynamic and what that represented for American families going forward, really where the women were setting the terms of the family in many ways. And so all the terms of family changed, of marriage, of family, of children, of rearing children, of work, everything. But in my book, The Woke Mind Viruses, I was really shocked to discover that radical feminism was a communist movement from Simone de Beauvoir, a French communist woman, the author, and then American author picked it up that was a communist from New York, and her name will come back to me, but anyway, so they were trying to push the communist agenda, the communist revolution in the West, in France and America, and that's what feminism is. And let me just make it very simple for you what feminism is. They took from Horkheimer's critical theory or reform communism. Original communism was class warfare that leads to social unrest. You need social justice and bring in the revolution, and then we all come into power and we have will to power. That's communism from Marx and Friedrich Nietzsche. Yeah. But Horkheimer and the Frankfurt School realized that didn't work in the West. That only worked in the East, like China and Russia, where they had abject poverty. Here we had a middle class. So you couldn't do that here. It failed. So here you had to attack at the critical weak pressure points of culture. So you had to turn women against men, minorities against majorities, outcasts against the in group, like homosexuals, transgenders, geeks and freaks and whatever, against anybody that's like normal, right? Like normative. And so that became the thrust of the move. And climate, that became the thrust of Marxist ideology in the West. And those are what I call the 5 lies of liberalism. Social justice, radical feminism, critical race theory, gender and queer theory, and climate theory, climate alarmism. And so, but they're all the same blueprint. It's classism, class warfare that leads to social justice and brings in the revolution. It's all the same thing. So the movement she's paying credit and honor to because she's a woman and she's got to be part of this tribe, and she can't, talk against it because she has to contextualize her new message to try to bring some good into this very evil movement, and honor, like, well, they did some things for women, and I agree, they did some things for women. Women do have more rights and privileges that they should have had all along that they do have now, and so it did give them that, but then it ruined a lot of women's situations in the same point. Now what we see is it's gotten so toxic and it is so degraded and corroded, like acid has been thrown on our country and all Western countries, and been just like amplified by the internet and this mobile technology and these apps and social media, that now not only it started with families being sort of broken down and dissolved, and then children's health being broken down and dissolved, and marriages and people's, latter half of their lives being broken down and dissolved. Now you have young people. It's now the acid, the cancer has gotten down to young people, where now young people who should be learning how to flirt and date and meet someone and find a partner, find a mate, find a fiance and a wife, a girlfriend, boyfriend. Now for them, for a lot of them, it's becoming virtually impossible. Right. And a lot of these men are at the bottom of the dating tiers, are being left out. They have the incel movement. Guys above that get screwed over, though, and they want to write off women. They're part of MGTOW and these manosphere movements. And so now you see these toxic things. And I almost wonder if there's even foreign intelligence that's financing a lot of this stuff, this propaganda on social media, to really just strengthen the divide and the separation of men and women in Western countries. And I think it's a major problem. I think this is a huge problem, both for women, but now also for men and for children. I just think it's a massive problem.
Well, they tried to destroy it from controlling information. They tried to destroy it from an economic standpoint by repudiating capitalism. They tried to do it with taking Happy Face Paints donated $7.13. Best I can do today. Great show. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. They tried to do it through theology and repudiating God. They've tried to do it with the movies. They tried to do it with literature. So why not go ahead and use the key foundation of Western civilization, which is the matriarchal and patriarchal society, the common family. They've done it everywhere else. It's interesting. TS, I appreciate, and I, just to be transparent, there's people in chat and they're just like, oh, well, I disagree. Good. Then disagree with him, because the man happens to be, in my opinion, a genius. And I don't have to agree with him. We don't agree on things. There's things that when we were sitting here, I'm an intelligence specialist. I'm part of the problem. I'm a spook. I'm part of the issue too. So there's a natural distrust, but there's also a natural respect. And I had to prove myself to him, and he's proven himself to me to be a valuable friend. So I don't have to agree with everything he says, because some of the things he says make sense. And there's some things I vehemently disagree with, and that's what I do. I'm going to challenge, but we've got that relationship, and I appreciate your perspective, man. As always, you get last word, as always. I appreciate you. Tell everyone about your book. In my opinion, it is one of my go-to books. The Bible in the King James sits right next to me, and then whenever I need something politically, whenever I need to grab something through history to understand what's going on today, I grab this book. So tell everyone about the Woke Mind Viruses and where they can get it, please.
Yeah, well, it came out last year, and it basically covers the 4 toxic ideologies that have infected the West, that are trying to bring down Western civilization, and that's not an exaggeration. Liberalism, wokeism, leftism, and globalism. And it's a full breakdown of their true origins, their histories, their founding fathers, their belief systems, their political tactics. And then I have the solution, the antidote from my point of view, which is massive institutional reform in Western countries. And so that's basically the book. And you can get it on Amazon, Audible, Kindle, online. And you can find me at tsdixon.com. And the book also just came out in Vietnamese. So we had a Vietnamese publisher pick it up.
Wow.
And they just released it. So if you're Vietnamese, anybody that's Vietnamese, you can read it in your own language.
You get to learn about Pol Pot. So that's good. There's some good history in there, especially with what happened in Vietnam, because communism affected that country horribly. Listen, TS, I appreciate you so much. Olivia, I apologize when TS and I get together.
I should have just said, okay,
we need her to butt in.
All of you,
Olivia,
and
hold on. We need Olivia to give her 2 cents. We need her point of view.
I don't have much of a 2 cents on anything you guys are talking about, because over my head.
We tend to do that.
You guys are there. There's a reason why Leroy and I are not on the show on the same nights anymore.
Yeah.
That is by design, because you and Leroy get into your technical intelligence-y stuff, and I'm left in the dark because I have no idea what you're going to talk about, and I am staring at a screen for 2 hours. So there's a reason why Leroy and I don't do
I'm going to get it, TS. Thanks a lot, buddy.
So,
now
no,
I'm in trouble.
It's good. I should realize I probably should have been like, maybe I should take the night off, because I know you guys are going to get into it. I love talking to you, DS, but I am on like an extremely lower plane than you both are. So
I don't agree with that. I think that people find
that
different
was a lot of big words that I didn't understand half of what you said. So just put it that way. It's like too many $1 words. I don't know them. So
well, they I guess they weren't even 10-cent words. Listen, brother, I appreciate you, man. It's good to have you on as always, and God bless you. You can also pick up the book at thedumbshow.com. Anything big coming up? Any appearances, RSBN, or anything like that you got in the future, or is it just keep your nose to the grindstone?
Yeah, there's semi-appearances on RSBN. They're great friends, and other media appearances, but nothing big in the next couple of weeks. But just keeping the nose to the grindstone, working on the next project, the next book, and appreciate you guys. Love the Dumb Show, love the Dumb Nation, and thank you for having me on again.
When's the next book? When can we expect it? Is there even a close ETA?
Oh, I couldn't put an ETA. I just finished the manuscript a couple weeks ago, and so we'll see, maybe towards the end of this year.
We will wait for it, my brother. Thanks, man. It's great to see you again. We'll do this again soon, and then we'll let Olivia have the night off so you and I can talk.
There you go.
Thanks, TS.
Good seeing both of you.
All right, later.
Bye.
Oh man. So listen, folks, you know, you got to understand. I have friends all over who I disagree with. And you have friends that we disagree with. This is
we
the
even
part,
disagree with each other.
This is the part of the Don't Unfriend Me show, you know? And I vehemently disagree with TS on his position on Trump. I completely do. And I disagree with what his comments were the run. And I made that clear. And I absolutely disagree with the Epstein Act and Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene and the other deep staters and what they did to Trump. And they were never MAGA. And that's okay. We can disagree, but it doesn't mean we don't listen. It doesn't mean we don't learn, because it helped me understand that. I mean, I have to ask the question, well, where's the indictments? Where's the investigatory body? Where are the charges? Well, there aren't any. Okay, so you're telling me that Epstein murdered a bunch of children and buried them in New Mexico, which I've heard that rumor from Native Americans, and I've heard those stories in Tucumcari and others places. And I'm aware of those, but I hadn't heard specifically related to Epstein. So that makes me inquisitive. So I'm going to write that down. I'm going to go look at it, even though I saw the emails. Who buried this? Why did they bury this? So, and Deborah, you're right. That's why I asked him. I said, who's they? Who is they? Because I want it to be said. Who's they? Because it sounded like we mentioned Iran. We mentioned the Middle East. We mentioned Yemen and Egypt and Libya. We mentioned Russia, we mentioned China, we mentioned Vietnam, we mentioned everybody. The only one we didn't, in the United States, the only one we didn't mention was Israel. So is it Israel? And if it is, then here's another conversation that I really want to have, where I'm willing to sit down and say, yes, come on, and let's debate Israel. Let's go through the last 3,300 years. Let's go through Iran's relationship with Iraq. Let's go through their relationship with Saudi Arabia. Let's go through their relationship with the Lebanese. Let's go through their relationship with England. Let's go through their relationship with the United States. And if Iran did not change, then why are they not a constitutional republic like they once were with a representative democracy? Because that's what that's what the Persians were. So what happened between then and there? What happened to that country? What happened with the Mojahedin? What happened with the Ayatollah? What happened with the CIA? What happened with the failures with the overall distribution of their oil? What happened with England, and why did the United States get involved? Why did they go ahead and have CIA involvement there? So look at Iran-Contra. Look at the funding of the rebels. Look at the Kurds, the Sunnis, the Shias. I want to have that conversation with him. But I get the sneaking suspicion that maybe I think they might be Israel. And I would love to hear that from him. And I don't think he would have a problem saying that. That's just a whole nother show. But I respect a lot of people's opinions, and I will tell you, TS is a very intelligent man. I don't agree. This wasn't our greatest show in agreement, and I don't care. But I also was not here, and I'm not going to get into a full-fledged debate. I'm going to challenge where I felt I needed to. I'm going to be respectful. He's my guest. I'm not going to sandbag him. I'm not going to attack him. I'm going to give him my opinion and then leave it at that. And if we get into a full conversation in the future, then I might go a little bit deeper. But I was comfortable with where we were at. Your thoughts on the conversation?
Like I said, it was very interesting. It's very hard for me to follow those very intellectual topics because I don't know. I guess I'm not that intellectual when it comes to that kind of stuff. So it's really hard for me when it comes to serious topics like that. And
I love you, and I should have said that. But that's why I tried to pull back a little bit. But there were some things that I directly had to challenge. Like, you come on my show, I'm going to hit you on Massey and Rand Paul and Marjorie Taylor and Tucker and Candace and those others. But first, I want to talk about Barry Morgenstein's beautiful shirt, his 250 anniversary shirt. He was wearing another person's shirt today. I was a little bit disappointed. But it is available for sale if you have not had a chance to go get the 250 Freedom shirt. Here it is. And the gorgeous man in front of you with his aviators that Joe Biden can't pull off, but he can, Barry Morgenstein with the Freedom shirt.
Speaking of Barry Morgenstein, he might become a staple on the show.
Good.
He might start coming on once a month. We're talking and trying to figure stuff out, but yeah, he said he'll come on whenever we've got room for him, which is awesome.
So can we talk about something real quick? Because I think I just want to make another point to people. I will debate anybody on any topic, anytime, any place, anywhere. as long as I have the conviction to do so, right? But I will also listen to people's opinions, because if I respect you, I want to know why you think what you think. And my job isn't to debate TS about his belief structure or his ideology or his facts, unless he says something that I know is not accurate or not true, or is an opinion versus fact. So if you notice and you go back and watch a show, I want you to watch, if you can, watch it again and dissect the parts where I challenge. And it was always about something that I know was not a quantifiable or qualitative fact. It was not an objective truth. It was a subjective truth. And there was about 4 things that I jumped on out of the 100 that we talked about. This show is designed to bring guests on so we can learn from them. It's not the time to get into a pissing match. And I didn't feel the need to do that tonight. And I think people understand that. I think people say, well, that's why we respect the show, because I want TS to come back and I want him to say more things, and I'll disagree with him when I disagree with him, and I'll agree with him when I agree with him. His standpoint is the CIA is not to be trusted. And I can understand that disposition. And I think a lot of people share that sentiment. However, the CIA of the 70s, 80s, and 90s is not the CIA of the 10s, the 20s, and the 30s. They are a very different brand. They're a very different breed. Hell, they can't even get the Kurds to invade southern Iran effectively. And that shows you just what a shit show the CIA is. Anyway, Sherry says, Olivia, intellectual doesn't equal intelligence or lack thereof. I completely agree.
I don't think I'm stupid. I just don't understand the whole you and Leroy intelligence thing, and it's not my forte. Yeah, I'm very passionate about other things, but
yes, and honey, you're talking about years. I mean, TS has read thousands of pieces of history. I studied history. I still purvey history and learn from it, but also my experience geopolitically and working in the fields that I did gives me a breadth of knowledge that you don't have, because you shouldn't. But you are not in any way, shape, or form a side piece or a third wheel on this show. You have elevated your game. And what's even better is that normally you would say no, but here you're like, no, I don't have anything to say because you two don't shut up. And that it shows you've grown, and there's a level of maturity to your game that you're not trying to be something you're not. So I'm going to make love to you like a savage tonight, and that doesn't matter either way, because I love you.
Thanks.
And you are super smart.
Hayden just sent me a text. I have a whole donation idea with the script and everything. This is peak.
Peak cinema. Good, because Mel's going to get upset. By the way,
I wanted you to know that, Mel. We're getting a new one. Hopefully we'll get it out this weekend.
So here's the deal. 157.13 is where we're at. We're about 100 and, I don't know, let's just call it 143 away. We would appreciate it if we could get to that. Let's go. Listen, man, I enjoy TS. His brain is incredible. And we learn from it, and we don't, and that's okay. Tina Peters. Oh, donations are on. So we want to try to get to that number. Olivia and I are going to stay till 9:45 tonight. It's Friday. We're going to give you guys a little bonus time.
We don't have any hockey games tonight. Although I wish there was hockey on tonight. I'm happy there's no hockey on tonight, if you understand what I mean.
We're going to play Vegas. Vegas, baby. Vegas.
Vegas.
Vegas. Vegas, baby. When are we going to be? We're going to Vegas. No, we're not going to Vegas tonight.
Hold on, Voltaire.
Like some waitress in Vegas on the morning hours can understand some French philosophical obscure phrase, like the Age of Enlightenment. Then she walks by.
Hold on, Voltaire.
So good. So good. And he's like, yeah, look, she got it. She got the joke. All right, here we go. Tina Peters, imminent release. Want to know who I think they are? We already know who they are. And you want to know what a sign of a true friend is somebody who comes onto your show and shows a little bit of self-restraint and recognizes the audience they're in. To me, that's important. And if TS wants to come on the show and he wants to make the correlation, and he's decided that now there is a Jewish Israeli element into Trump's decision making that surpasses the United States, then he is more than welcome to make that argument. But tonight we weren't going to talk about that. So Olivia will tell you I am a very honorable person, and I don't tread on dishonor. I won't do it. I won't do it. Once you've earned my respect, I will stay very loyal to the relationship, but it doesn't mean I can't disagree with you. Shirley says, spill it. I already did. I think everyone understands. I think we all understand that the subtle innuendo is that Israel has a chokehold on President Trump. That's kind of what I was hearing. I don't know if you were hearing that, but that's what I was hearing. That's it. It was a great conversation, Matt. I knew it wasn't going to end like last one. That's what happens when two grown adults disagree. Well done. Yeah, it's like the diametrically opposed. The older millennial and that conversation are two different things. Mutual respect. The older millennial and I obviously agree on a lot of things. We like each other, but he left in a huff. TS wasn't. We're friends.
It shows maturity level right there.
Yeah, it's just, All right, let's get it. Yeah, I think we're all surprised by some of the things that TS said. And it's not my first time. When he was sitting next to me, there were some things he said about the intelligence community that I'm like, I don't agree with you, but it doesn't matter. I can still learn some things, and I don't know everything. And I pushed back where I did. Iran is a danger. I've said that. They are the world's hotspot. And I told you where the next world's hotspot's going to be for the next 30 years. It's going to be Africa. But right now, it'll be the Middle East, and we will solve this problem. When the Abraham Accords are entered, I truly believe you will have peace in the Middle East. Once Saudi Arabia falls, every other Arab country will do the same. And then we can start focusing on Africa. Okay. Here is Tina Peters' possible release on June 1st. I think that's the announcement. Let's go.
Colorado, the poorly run state of Colorado, with a governor who's incompetent. And frankly, with a governor that won't allow our wonderful Tina to come out of a jail, in a high-intensity jail, because she caught people cheating on an election, and they said she was cheating. She wasn't cheating. She went over, she looked at one of the election scams going on, and because she did that, they put her in jail for 9 years. The governor of Colorado is a weak and pathetic man who was run by Tren de Aragua, the criminals from Venezuela, took over sections of Colorado, and he was afraid to do anything. But he puts Tina in jail for 9 years because she caught people cheating. And when she walked over and got involved in it, they said she was cheating. She wasn't cheating. She caught people cheating on the election, 2020, along with a lot of other people that cheated on that election. You'll see that coming out more and more. But there's no doubt that America.
So June 1st is my understanding as well. I've got maybe a few challenges on the Tina Peters thing, and it's not because I think she deserved to serve the sentence she did. I think that the sentence is excessive. I think the location that she's in is absolutely ridiculous. I think a state has a right to, I'm fixing this window. The state has a right to charge and prosecute and sentence its constituents. And this is a state matter. I don't agree with the fact that, what's wrong with my video? I don't agree with the fact of the time involved here. I think it was excessive. However, I do believe she broke the law, and that deserves punishment. And her time should be over. And I think anyone that was involved with J6 or voter fraud or anything else, especially someone who has never had a problem with the law before, should experience a little bit of grace. And I think it's ridiculous. And I hope she enjoys her freedom and has a meaningful life. I would love to get her on the show and interview her. I think she served her time. I think she's paid for her crime, and move on. That's just my opinion.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Who is Tina Peters? I've never
Tina
even
Peters
heard
in
of her.
Colorado. She was on the electorate, and she basically went into one of the election systems. I can't believe I forget.
Dominion.
Yeah, good. See, there you go. That's what. That's see. See, you wouldn't be able to answer that question a year ago. The fact that you got that is, that's why I love you. Give you soft kisses on all your pink parts later. You better. So Dominion servers and downloaded data, took that data illegally and distributed it. So you can't do that. I mean, that is something you can't do. And if there was fraud, there was a crime, then prove it. That's where I'm at. Prove it. Donald Trump says it's coming out. Great. Show us. That's it. Good enough. Good enough. Folks, 157.13 is where we're at. Got to get it. We're going to be on for another 30 minutes because we love you, but I am going to put up the clock.
Yes. Oh, also,
yeah,
next week is going to be interesting because we have 2 choir concerts. It's the spring concerts for both kids on Tuesday and Thursday.
Oh, I won't be able to go to either then.
Okay.
I'm going to let them know. I'll just tell them.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't miss 2 days. I can miss 1 day, but then who do I pick? That's not fair. That's not fair. Maybe what you can do is stream it. Can you stream it? And then we can play it live.
It sucks.
Let's talk to the kids and let the kids decide. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
I really don't want to miss 2 days. And, we got it. Let's have a conversation about it. And then we got Scott Lebedo coming on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to prepare for that. We also got to prep for it. We also got to advertise for it. So there's a lot. Let's just see where we're at. I've been to every concert. I think if I miss a concert, they're not going to be upset. They don't care. They're like, Dad, who? We love the milkman. Marco Hunter Lopez. You guys remember this guy? Everyone was so amazed by this kid. Have the show early or late on those days? When does it start, Liv?
Ethan's is only 30 minutes and it's from
Olivia?
7 to 7.
Olivia, please don't do what you always do. When does this start?
7 both nights.
And they're both 30?
Hayden's is going to be about 2 hours. Ethan's is 30. Because Ethan's is just the 7th grade and that's it. And it's over. Hayden's is the entire high school. And there's 5 choirs. So Hayden's is the long one. Ethan's, honestly, we could come on late.
Let's have a conversation about this.
we'll
We'll
have a
figure this out.
conversation.
We're gonna do right by the viewer. We're not gonna leave you guys high and dry. Marco Hunter Lopez with Representative Gill here. This is interesting. This is the kid that we were so proud of and saw him on Fox News, how he stood up to Raskin and others. Here is the video.
Is it true that your school's libraries offer Islamic literature like the Quran and other things?
Yes, so McMillan Junior High and Wiley ISD offers a Quran but no Bible available.
But no Bible. So there's a Quran, but the Bible's not allowed.
Correct.
Is that true in multiple libraries?
From what I know, confirmed it's McMillan Junior High is one that I know of. I can look at the other libraries and submit them to you if I find any other findings.
Okay. Have you talked to the school about why they would allow a Quran but not a Bible?
So I haven't, the principals actually run away from me and hide, so I can't have a discussion with my principals because I act like an adult and they act like children.
Yeah, well, you very much are acting like an adult. They probably don't want to be on the record with that policy, given how egregious it is.
Wow. I like that. He does not seem like a 16-year-old. I really like him, but that's insane. I just put in reminders. Next week I'm going to try and find this kid. If anyone knows how to reach this kid or his mom, because I'm going to have to go through his mom.
You call that out?
Yes. Sorry. Anonymous. Let's move that needle. Hi, Matt, Olivia and Matt. Hello, Anonymous. We know who you are. We appreciate you.
Sorry, I've got a bunch of emails I got to check.
That's okay. No, this kid is awesome. He does not, he's a rare breed of the Gen Y or whatever generation Hayden is. I don't even, Gen Alpha, whatever they are. Not many kids think like him, act like him, or talk like him. Hayden does. Hayden's one of them. But there's so few kids that are like them. And it's a treat to see that. And gives me a little bit of hope for the future that the world's not going to end when our generation is gone.
So it's interesting. You were like, I don't need to speak up on the videos, but every time I do this, all of a sudden you raise your voice up. So that shows you right there. It's all right. You get tired at the end of the night. It's a lot. There's a lot. We do this for 2 hours and you kind of you work your ass off and you do long days. So I get it. Air Force has assigned Erica Kirk to their board. And the Air Force Academy, the reason why they have a board is they use public speakers for commencement addresses. They do it through the application process because you can get a recommendation from a senator, but it doesn't mean you're actually accepted to the academy. And this is a huge honor. Multiple people have done it. I will not mention the name, but a good friend of my family's was on the board of the Air Force Academy, of my father and I's. It's usually saved for prestigious people and people who are a good judge of character. And this is going to be her job on the board. Of course, Scamdus Owens decided to go ahead and turn it into this because she's a jealous. Here it is.
Now we have Erica Kirk herself artificially appointed to the Air Force Board of Visitors. Erica is not a grieving widow, okay? She's a piece of, as far as I'm concerned, military technology that's intended to socially engineer on behalf of the military. Like that's what she's out there doing. She's like a piece of Israeli tech. Again, my opinion, I'm welcome to it. It's my show. She socially engineered Charlie with much success. She is now being used to socially engineer the public with the full weight of the United States military behind her.
So, yeah, go ahead.
If I'm not mistaken, yes. Charlie Kirk was Charlie Kirk before Erica Kirk.
Thank you. Like, where were you when he was like, why did you say this before they literally murdered him? Where were all these people who hated Erica Kirk before? So
he started doing this when he was 18, straight out of high school.
That's right.
If I'm not mistaken, she's younger than him, was still in high school. And they'd only been married a few years when he was assassinated last year. So, and he's been doing this for 15, 16 years. I don't understand where she's getting that Erica mass engineered Charlie.
She basically called her a robot. Did you hear what she said?
Yes.
She basically was a mechanic. She's an asset, a military weapon. What the fuck is she talking about?
Next, she's going to be covered in lizard skin.
Lady, just OD and get it over with. Seriously, man, just wake up with a handful of pills and let us all off the hook.
I'm amazed she said military correctly.
Oh yeah, the military. The military is doing it again. Here's you guys remember? You guys know Dennis Leary, right? Dennis Leary. He was in the movie The Ref, and he was in Demolition Man.
You saw the stop sign, didn't you, Lloyd? Still getting it started on The Ref.
I swear, you people. One more time. Say one more time.
Lady, your husband ain't dead. He's hiding.
Mom, the next time you're feeling unappreciated for your sacrifices, yes, I'm going to buy you a cross so you can walk up and nail yourself to it. Oh, yes. Someone needs to sue Candace into obscurity. Masshole, Dennis Leary, he had a song called A-Hole. And I'm an asshole. Great song. Someone decided to go ahead and make it about Thomas Massey. I was going to show this to T.S. Dixon, but I didn't think it would go over well.
Oh no, you can pull all my fingernails out, you can shove bamboo up in them, you can start cutting off my fingers. I am not voting for Mike Johnson tomorrow.
He's an asshole.
Thomas Masshole. He's a masshole. He's a masshole. Oh yeah. My donors pay big, so I do what I'm told. My lips move the lies, I talk out my masshole. Thomas Masshole. Every chance I get, I get.
Kyle, thanks for following the show on YouTube.
The donors told me don't vote with Donald Trump because I'm a masshole. He's a masshole. He's a masshole. Thomas Masshole. Oh yeah. Thomas Masshole. He's a masshole. Thomas Masshole. He's a masshole. I sit on the hill and I'm really special. If I could only reach it, then I'd kiss my own masshole. Yeah, Thomas Masshole. He's a masshole. He's a masshole. I'm a masshole. He's a masshole. Thomas Masshole. He's a masshole. I'm
Don't be a masshole.
Dilly Meme Team, got to get him on here, man. That guy's a rock star. Want to thank Kimberly Dryson for picking up a Freedom hoodie and an America 250-year shirt. Good for you. Thank you so much. Folks, we're at 20713. Anonymous coming in with 50. Anonymous, I know who you are. I know your name. I see you. $93 is where we are to hit goal. We're in overtime, folks. Usually we have to hit goal to get overtime. We're being extremely nice tonight. Jim Jordan was being interviewed and was questioned on gas prices. Here is a fantastic answer on this. Listen.
You're saying gas prices went up under Biden, and I criticized it then because I didn't like why they were going up. I mean, they're going up a lot under this president that you supported, but you're just saying it's for the right reason in your view.
Yeah, and it's for a reason that he told the American people he was going to do. One thing I know about this president, unlike so many other people in elective office, when this president says something, he does what he said. He said he would cut taxes, he did. He said he would secure the border, he did. He said he would make sure Iran didn't get a nuclear weapon, and he's going about doing that. And thank goodness he's got the courage and the toughness and the willingness to do what he said when most of the other presidents, all the other presidents for 47 years wouldn't do it, but this guy will.
What about his promise in 2024 that if he was reelected, gas would be under $2 a gallon because of his policies?
It was really, really close to that, wasn't it? But you also don't talk about the wonderful economy he had before COVID. You didn't talk about unemployment, COVID. You didn't talk about interest rates. You didn't talk about the gas then. You didn't talk about energy prices then. You didn't talk about the opioid epidemic, which he went after. You didn't talk about the caliphate and ISIS that he also talked about destroying. You people have subjective asshole memories. Seriously, you guys have the memory of a goldfish's butthole.
Well, gas prices were coming down until we had to deal with this situation. But, you know, that's life. That's dealing with world and the world we live in. I think the country gets the fundamental fact, and I know I understand this, President Trump makes decisions that are in the best interest of our nation. 250 years, greatest country in history. He makes decisions that are going to help our country and the long-term security and safety of the people he has. And I think you want a commander-in-chief like that. You want a commander-in-chief who's willing to do tough things that he knows are good for us, all of your viewers, everyone in this country, and frankly, everyone around the world. It is good if Iran doesn't get a nuclear weapon.
But if someone's listening to you and they were paying $2.98 a gallon of gas before the war started, and now they're paying $4.53, I mean, saying that's life might not, make them feel better.
That's not what he said.
Those are your words, not mine. I'm saying.
No, you said that's life just now.
This is the situation.
No, he said that's the world. And that's the situation that's taking place right now. It's a temporary inconvenience that sucks and it's hard, and we all understand that. But if we can make it through an economy under Joe Biden where inflation was through the roof, where food shortages were taking place, prices were absolutely astronomical, housing prices were astronomical, the federal interest rate was astronomical, all of the things that we've talked about and know about, how he literally put us in the highest inflation that we've ever seen in this country and extended it into 20 years before we even catch up to the normal inflation process this guy put us under. I think we can handle still lower prices than under Joe fucking Biden.
Situation. They were pursuing a nuclear weapon. They wanted to get there. President Trump said, I'm not going to do that. He ran on that, and he's taken the appropriate action that I think you want your commander-in-chief to take for the security and safety of America.
But he also ran on bringing gas prices to under $2 a gallon. I mean,
well, hopefully,
are voters supposed to look at that and say which one is?
Hopefully we'll get there soon. I want gas prices low too. I mean, we all want gas prices low. Who doesn't, for goodness sake? But we also don't want Iran to get a nuclear weapon. And I think the country's smart. They understand that decisions have to be made. Let's focus on getting those gas prices down as quickly and as fast as we can. But let's also focus on making sure that this regime, who was willing to hang a 19-year-old star athlete in their country, willing to do that, let's make sure they don't have a nuclear weapon.
You said that's life. I was just quoting what you said a second ago. Those were not my words. Those were your words.
No, I'm not saying that's life. I'm saying
that's not what he's saying.
Life sometimes throws things at you that you didn't anticipate, and you have to deal with it. And you want a commander-in-chief who will deal with it and deal with it in a way that is focused on the safety of the people he was elected to serve and protect.
His quote was, "That's life in the world today." There's a very big difference. What he's saying is, it doesn't necessarily to be an intentional movement or decision by the president. It can be mitigating circumstances that cause this. There's ancillary benefit, and then there's detriment. And this is a detrimental thing that we all knew was coming. Everyone knew it was coming. Jimmy freaking Carter got special forces teams killed, and gas prices went up the freaking roof. Give me a break, folks. Go ahead.
So the one thing I never hear any of the politicians say, or anyone who's being asked about the gas prices. Let's compare Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Joe Biden, January 19th of 2021, my gas was $2.19 a gallon. Within a month, it was $3.50. It went up 150%, or whatever that is, the percentage. But the reason why is because Joe Biden decided to stop all drilling, stop all fracking, stop all production of any type of oil, anything to do with energy in our country, and decided to suck off the tit of the Middle East and buy our oil from other countries instead of produce it and be an exporter, of oil. That really sucks. He really bent us over the table, and that one, not fun. Here's the other thing, Donald Trump. Yes, gas prices suck, but it's a little bit easier to take when they are high, because he's trying to make sure that a country that has screamed death to America for the last 47 years, and if they're going to get a nuke, they're going to nuke us. He's trying to make sure they don't get
Or more importantly, they're going to nuke Israel, which then essentially brings Europe into a Middle East conflict, and we've all seen how that goes.
So yeah, they both suck. Both reasons feel like I'm being bent over the table, but you know what? One is a little bit easier to take because there's a little bit more lube on there. The other one, not so much. So there you go.
Mental note, use lube.
Is that a good pretty picture for you? Or are you thinking of something else besides gas prices on that?
You crushed it. I mean, like, just
compare the two. It is not freaking hard. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
$93, folks. That only thing that stands between us and freedom. Freedom! Mercy, William. $93, folks, is what we're worth it. We're so worth it. I mean, it's been a good show tonight.
That $93. I just spent $72.50 to fill up my gas tank before I came home tonight.
See?
Yay!
Yep.
So exciting, those gas prices.
So there's two arguments that are being made here, two different arguments, and the respective state isn't important. But one is mosques that are being built, and the other is Sharia law. Two fathers standing up for themselves. It's great. It used to be the sexualization of kids, and you saw fathers fighting that. Then it was parents' rights, and all of those things that you've been seeing from Brandon, Michon, and you know, we've talked about it with Fairfax County and here in Loudoun County. But here is a father's argument against the school board, and I just thought you guys would want to see these two because they're pretty powerful. Here it is.
I ask you to vote no on the proposal to construct a mosque in the area for the following reasons: traffic congestion, pressure on the infrastructure of this area, a change of culture of the area. Currently, we're happy with our government being operated under the auspices of the United States Constitution and its founding documents, which is the bedrock proposition that the governed people have a right to make law for themselves. We have freedom of conscience. We have freedom of expression. We have economic liberty, and we have equal treatment under the law. And also, we have the Constitution gives us freedom from cruel and unusual punishments, a condemnation of terrorism. Also, the Constitution gives us an abiding commitment to deflate and resolve political controversies by the ordinary mechanism of federalism and democracy, not wanting violence. Number 4, we do not want Sharia law in this area. Sharia dictates that non-Muslims be given 3 choices: convert to Islam and convert to Sharia, submit as a second-class citizen, or be killed. One more key point is that Sharia relegates women to a status of inferior to men.
Well, that I agree
The
with.
last point I have is democracy versus Islam. Any system of man-made law is considered illicit under Islamic law. Thank you for allowing me to speak, and I again ask you to vote no on the construction of the mosque at this site. Thank you so much.
Listen, it may not be the most articulate, but he had to read it. But you know what? I will take a citizen going up there and making detailed and accurate arguments that are based upon the law of our land, that are based on objective truth, and also anecdotal experiential truth. All of those things together are important. Good for him. That's what I want. He didn't cuss. He didn't scream. He made an articulate, qualitative, quantitative argument that was very detailed. And what are you going to say to that? Because nothing that he said was incorrect. It's 100% true. Now, here's my thoughts, is if I have 2 to 3 minutes to make a statement, then you should take 2 to 3 minutes to answer those questions. And I think a lot of city council would not apply for the job if they had to answer the questions of their constituents. Do what I did today with T.S. Dixon. They don't have the moxie, they don't have the stone, they don't have the knowledge to do that. You have got to know your shit. You've got to know your P's and Q's. And I encourage every single every single person who watches this show is not just listen to it, but learn from it. Learn how to process things. And I will tell you, our viewers are some of the smartest viewers that I've seen interact. They're intelligent, they're articulate, they understand things, they make the show better. Be that guy. Did we talk about Carrie or no? Sent you an email. Carrie sent you a text last night.
No,
Carrie
I didn't.
You didn't say anything?
No, I didn't.
All right, Carrie, I read it. I love you. You're amazing. Love you. Love you, love you, love you. Folks, 207.13 is where we're at. We need you. Without you, we don't hit gold. Don't make me play the commercial. Here's the second one about Sharia law.
America is a Christian nation.
Amen.
The principal, 1 year ago, the principal on the same day, World Hijab Day, wore that hijab and said she loved it, all caps. 1 year to the day later, on World Hijab Day, Sunday, Monday hits, they're putting our girls in Sharia. They're passing out Sharia pamphlets, hijabs, Qurans, understanding Islam, understanding Sharia. Sharia treats half of this room like and these women are not. This is not a Muslim nation. This is a Christian nation. That principal knew what she was doing, and I am not believing that was 1 or 2 people at that front desk. Fired the principal. You tell the parents, don't go online to get information, but what did they get online? Marco told the truth. That's where they got the information, and you did. Online. Telling us not to go there. This was dawah. Muslim proselytizing. Dawah. It's like me as a Christian going into a school and witnessing to these kids. You want me to do that? Let's go.
A different type of argument, an emotional argument, but one that still puts issues to the forefront that need to be addressed. You going to bed there, son?
Yeah. Hey, did you put your laundry in the
Pound
dryer?
it, G. Pound it, G. Pound it, G. Pound it, G.
Did you put your laundry in the dryer?
Yes, it's in the washer right now.
Okay, do I need to switch it to the dryer?
I don't think so.
Do you guys have a good commercial coming?
Yes, we do. Hayden's going to read it to you. It's actually really
Is it good? You get to act in it?
good. Yes, I do. Actually, a big one. Mom and I get to do it together.
Oh, I'm excited for it.
It's really fun.
Okay, all right, I'm
Okay.
good. So I have failed you, my friends. I did not find where those videos came from, so I can't help you know if that is your town. I will tell you this, it is most assuredly your town, your state, your city, because it's happening all over our country. So I would challenge you when the next city council meeting is, go.
I would like to. You know what? We should try to do that.
Yeah, I'm going to. I might even run for it. How tall is my son now? He's pretty much got Hayden.
He's got me.
He's got mom, so he's
5 feet 12 inches.
5'4". He's going to grow a foot in the next year. When he's 14, he's going to sprout. That's what I did. Like I was his size. Hold on.
Go to the pool.
Thank you, sweet pea. I'm working on it.
Mom, look at our feet.
Oh yeah, his eyes are taller than you. You're toast, Hayden. He got you. Yeah, his eyes. Just look at his. If his eyes are taller than yours, then he's taller than you. And his eyes are way. He's got a half inch on you now.
Dude, I literally just saw you do this.
And you're standing closer to the camera than he is. Get next to him. Oh yeah. Oh, you're much shorter than him. He got you. Yep.
Sucks having your baby brother be taller than you.
Hold on a second. Here, wait. Let me fix it. Hold on. Let me fix it. I can do this. I can go to cam 4. Stand up straight. Oh yeah, he got you. Yep. He's now taller than you, Hayden.
I think he's about.
Mom's taller than me.
Yeah,
so
I think
you both are almost short.
I think I got about half an inch on him, but not for long.
Being in this family.
No. Leave Mom alone.
His feet are like 3 sizes bigger than mine now.
I'm the shortest person in this family, and I have the smallest feet.
Okay, get out of my
room.
room.
No, you don't. Your feet are bigger than mine.
Get out of my room. Leave.
Tell him what you came in here to tell.
Oh, Hayden wrote the whole entire thing.
I wrote it.
He stole my idea. I did the whole thing.
Okay, good. Just get out of here. When are we filming it tomorrow?
Sunday. Because I came
After church?
Yes.
What time's the game tomorrow? 9?
10.
Stupid. I got to drive all the way there. All right, we're up early, 8 o'clock. You too, Hayden.
Yeah, they're picking you up at 8:15.
So I'm gonna be up at.
You're up earlier than that. Get out of here. Leave. Get out of my room.
Like school, dude. Like school. Leaving the same time you would for school.
Yeah, his legs are. He's exactly the same size I was when I was 14. I grew. He'll be like 5'8", 5'9" by the end of summer, and then he'll get the last 5 inches by the time he's 17 or 18.
I think he's gonna be as tall, if not taller, than you.
He's not gonna be taller than me.
You don't think so?
No, because our legs are exactly the same. He's going to be my size. He's going to be 6'4" exactly. Yeah, he's going to be a big boy.
When do you think he'll bulk up like you?
Whenever I start putting him on a diet to do so and put weights on him, I was just as... you go see me right out of the military, I look just like Ethan. I had no chest. I had no arms. I had nothing. Dude, I was a beanpole. I didn't start getting mass until I started working with the teams. And then I started getting stronger. But... I want him to be 14 years old, but we'll start doing some resistance training over the summer when he turns 14 and start getting some muscle on him. And he's going to rake that ball. I'm telling you, he's going to grow. And then he's going to start just ripping that ball. Anyway, tall people can't bulk up easy. It's hard. It is. But I mean, I've got good arms. I've got good shoulders. I've got a good chest. I mean, I'm not. You know what's funny? My number one thing that I get on Facebook, you know what people say? Well, people try to insult me all the time, call me a Nazi, whatever. But the one like physical assault, you're fat, and you should stop taking steroids.
Okay. Done.
But
because you don't take steroids.
That's not the point. That's not the point. People who take steroids are muscular and buff, and then you call me fat. Which one is it, dick shit? Am I fat? Am I fat or am I on steroids? So what it is people just projecting. Listen, I am not a spring chicken, but in no means am I fat. I've got puffy cheeks. I've always had puffy cheeks. And yes, I could probably lose 10, 12, 15 pounds. No doubt. But if you saw me, I don't think the first thing you're going to say to me is, wow, you're fat. Olivia can tell you. I'm not a small dude. I'm a big dude. And I don't have a beer gut. Reminds me of my daughter and son when he passed her. It's so cool to see. That sounds personal. Well, that's my point. I mean, that's like saying somebody, dude, you're an ugly model. A model. You're a stupid professor. Basically, why don't you just say that you're old, that you're the same age as me and you look 96 and you're jealous that you don't have a good looking wife, a nice house, great kids, great job, great company. And you only have to dye your beard once every 6 weeks. Used to be 3 months. Now I gotta do it every 6 weeks now. Yeah, I'm getting some gray. That sounds dirty laughing out loud. Okay, let's get a couple more here and then we're gonna get it. Folks, 207-13, what is going on, folks? Do we have anyone who wants to help out the show for a 2-hour and 45-minute show? The reason why we go long on Friday is because we don't update the podcast and people like the long form and it really helps. So we're going to get out of here. We got to go. We're going to do one more video and then we got to leave. So I need some help, folks. Sonny Hostin. Oh, this is great. This is great. So you pretty, Matt. Thanks, Jimmy. Appreciate you. Sonny Hostin found out. Now, this is the woman that says that America's racist and whites are racist and black people, she was, came from a family of slaves and she needs reparations. You know all these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Sherry, thanks. I don't know, Sherry. I just read them off. Sorry, I don't know what I did wrong. Here it is. Here is Sonny Hostin. Listen to this because watch her reaction. This is priceless.
Sure.
This is like when the narrative just goes, right? This is like when the Viagra wears off from the 80-year-old. Just torpedoes. Watch.
Wow. I'm a little bit in shock. I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was, my family was originally from Spain and slaveholders.
Yeah. So how are you feeling, my friend?
I think it's actually pretty interesting that my husband and I have shared roots.
Yeah. That you're a Nazi bigot Klan member who holds slaves and you need to pay reparations to black people, you slave trader.
So I do appreciate that. And I think it's great for our children to know this information.
That you're a slaveholder?
I guess it's a fact of life that this is how some people made their living, on the backs of.
No, you mean your family. Your family put black people in chain, whipped them, beat them, raped them, killed them, sold them, which makes you a slave trader.
Guilty by association.
Traitor to your cause. Why do you hate black people, Sonny?
Oh.
Such a racist. What a bigot. I'm sure she was a Nazi, too. Nice job, Hitler. Good job. How does it feel? Justin Pearson lies, folks. We're done. We got 37 seconds. I don't think we have a miracle in tonight. I cannot believe we're going to go into the weekend missing our goal. Oh, it's just a perfect ending to just a drudge of a week. Long week, but that's okay. Justin Pearson lies. Here you go. More evidence that Justin Pearson is not Malcolm X, is not Martin Luther King. Watch this.
We demand justice, equality, and fairness in Shelby County, Fayette County, McNair County, Williamson County. Make it 15, 16, 17 counties. It don't matter.
So you aren't just going to be campaigning in Shelby County or in District 9, the former District 9. So what is your strategy now as you follow along this new District 9?
Absolutely. We have to go everywhere. I mean, one of the favorite compliments that I get from our current campaign is we're everywhere because we've had roughly 250 events and community engagements that we've been to. We've met with thousands of voters across Memphis and Shelby County, up to Millington, all the way up to Covington, making sure that our message gets to people, that it's about us. It's
one of the greatest lines is in Primary Colors. And Billy Bob Thornton is sitting down, and the gentleman, who I can't remember his name, he's a great actor. He's a black gentleman, and he's running on Bill Clinton's campaign, who was played by John Travolta. And this guy is just, he's a Southern hick. And it's actual Carl, oh God, what's his name? Come on. Democrat, he's always on. He's
Karl Rove?
Yes. No, it's not Karl Rove. That's really good that you got Karl Rove. It's, oh, come on. Cavill. James Cavill.
Henry?
No, James Cavill.
James.
No, come on. Democrat operative.
Carville.
Carville, thank you. James Carville. And
the douche plow.
Yeah, but he's based off him, also an amazing political strategist. But Billy Bob Thornton's playing him, Carville, that's correct. See, another one you got. Good for you, Libby. So he's sitting there, and the black guy walks in, and he sounds just like him. He's completely straight voice, honest Abe, oh, hello, Puffy, type of voice. And Billy Bob Thornton goes, where'd you go to school, Hodgkins? He's like, I'll tell you what. I'm blacker than you. I got some slave in me. I can feel it. And you're just like,
Billy Bob.
Damn, Billy Bob. This guy's Hodgkins. Go ahead. Tommy Austin donated $21.10, puts us at $228.23. Yippity skippity.
You know what I want to do?
Tell me.
I
then
really,
I got to play
really
the rest of
want to
this.
do this. I'm going to find out his address of his office or whatever, where I can send something to. And I'm going to mail him a pic.
Speak up.
I'm going to mail him a pic. So at least...
A fro pic?
Yep. Beg him to wear it. So at least it's a little bit more palatable
Dude,
to watch him.
I'm gonna
pretend to be that.
I'm going to 3D print a bottle of Soul Glow.
And a pic. And we need to send it to him. Because that's all I see. I just see a pic.
We can call the pic Nitro Dolomite.
Time for new energy, new vision, and a new direction. And this is now an opportunity for us to do and campaign in Orange Mound, in Hickory Hill, in Whitehaven. But it's also an opportunity to go into Fayette County, into McNairy County with the same message.
You know, some people have labeled you as a very left Democrat. So how, you know, that seemingly seems like an uphill battle when you do get into those rural counties. So how do you feel like Republicans in those very red areas will take you as far as your stances on the Democratic
Paul
side? Would you say
Rivera
you're a very
donated
leftist
$21.10.
Democrat?
Says a little closer, Matt. Your conversation with TS was fantastic. Notes were taken on how to respectfully disagree. Well done, brother. Thank you. We have a caller. Who's calling? What do you want to talk about?
Hey, it's Frank.
Frankie, what's going on? It just came in, buddy. It just dropped.
I did it. I just wanted to tell you, you're not going to miss gold tonight. I won't allow it.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. It just dropped, man. I just saw it. Just came in. The big ones sometimes take a little bit of time to come in, but we got it.
All right. You have to sing this donation, though.
Okay, I got it. Hold on. All right, let me see it.
See it?
Here we go. Frank Wood says, hurt so good. Come on, baby, make it hurt so good. Some kind of love don't feel like it should, but baby, hurt so good. We love you there, Frank.
I had to throw John Mellencamp referral. It was just one of those things.
John Mellenhead, man, hurts so good. Thank you, brother. I greatly appreciate you guys bringing us across the finish line.
How you doing, Frankie?
How we doing? You sound good tonight. You sound really good tonight.
Yeah, I feel good. You know, I'm starting to come down a little bit. Yeah, it's been a rough 2 weeks. I got to admit.
Of course it is.
Of
course.
When you lose a child, it's not the easiest thing in the world to deal with, but I'm getting there.
Good. Well,
hanging in.
We're praying for you, Bubba, and we love you and we thank you. And just keep holding strong. You sound like you're doing well tonight, and that is just a series of day by days, buddy. Just keep clocking the days, gets better, and stay in contact with us, and we appreciate you so very much.
Will do. But one thing I have to tell you,
yeah,
I really love the interview you had with TS tonight. I've got his book, and I'm like halfway through it right now. But I love that I didn't agree with either of you on some of your points.
Right.
You know, there was that back and forth there. There was like, nah, that's bullshit. And then TS would say something. I go, nah, I don't know about that. And that's what makes your show great, Matt, is that you can bring out the reality in things, and you're not an asshole to anybody. You know, you listen to them. That is the one thing I got to tell you that is so great about Joe Rogan. He sits and listens. He's not defensive. He's not argumentative. There are sometimes I think he may, try to throw his point across over somebody. But I think that's the difference between him and Alex Jones. Alex Jones can't shut the fuck up.
That's true.
He's always got to throw his 2 cents worth in and obfuscate the person that he's trying to talk to.
Good word.
And I like Alex Jones, but sometimes, man, he just annoys the shit out of me. And he's a terrible interviewer.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about Joe Rogan. He's a great interviewer.
Oh, he is.
You just go ahead.
No, he is. I was agreeing with you, just 120%. Yep, I agree.
Yeah. But I think you are in the same caliber as Joe Rogan. You sit, you listen, you don't try to to put your thoughts above the other person.
Mm.
And although you do have your thoughts and you hold off, you know when to interject them and when not to. That's what I love about this show.
I ask a
love
lot of
so much.
questions, Frank.
Every
If you
time I
know,
watch you guys,
if you notice,
I
most
come
of the
away
things that I did were
a little-
I was asking questions, right? I want to try to understand someone's position, and once I
Right.
understand their question, then I challenge them.
Exactly.
But this
exactly.
is TS's response. He says, "Thank you both again for having me tonight. It was a blast." Like, TS and I will go out to dinner next time he's in town. I mean, I would lend him whatever money I have in my wallet. I've got no problem with his positions. Even people who may disagree with Israel and Netanyahu, it doesn't mean we can't. That's political disposition, and he can bring that up based upon historical facts and learning and repetition throughout history, what is past is prologue. But he doesn't just say it like Nick Fuentes, oh, they're dirty and they're evil people. He just might say, I don't like Netanyahu and the Israeli government and the way that they do things. That's completely a fair argument. There's things that they do that I don't like, but I support Israel. I support the United States in our relationship. I understand the long game of why it's important and why it is relatively maybe not created peace in the Middle East, but it does create conflict stability between Arab countries. And that's my argument, But listen, I appreciate you, Bubba. Thank you for saying that.
Well, and I was surprised. I thought he was on the verge of bringing up Israel.
Oh, he was
but
about
I had
to.
the feeling that he just did not want to go there.
No, he stopped out of respect. He knows that I'm a fervent supporter of the Jews and Israel, and that wasn't what we were talking about tonight. Just like I backed off on the Epstein things. I mean, I could have said some things that really would have punched some holes in his argument and honestly maybe embarrassed him a little bit. And I don't want to do that. But he also probably could say some things that would embarrass me. And we have a mutual respect for each other, and we weren't trying to be combative. We disagreed on some points. I was not going to let him associate Donald Trump with the Epstein bullshit. I think it's a Democrat plant. I think it's what they did. I think they prepared for it. I think it was a contingency in case Trump won, and I think it was a setup. I think that was a hoax. I think they're caring about it's a hoax. I don't think what happened in the files was a hoax, and I don't think Donald Trump was saying that. I think what he was saying is that the Democrats all of a sudden being concerned about it and pushing for the truth is a hoax, and they want the things released in there that were disparaging on Trump. The lies that were told about Trump, that's what they wanted. That's why they were pushing for it. They're the ones who put it in there. And he wasn't.
Well,
go ahead.
They will only bring those things up when it is good for their side.
Right.
Because they had plenty of chances to bring up Epstein.
Yep. You're right.
When Biden was in power.
Yep.
They didn't do it. Why do you think that was?
Well, we know why.
It would have been disparaging to them.
Well, and that's the thing. We know why.
I mean, that's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. Listen, anyone who thinks that, I've said this a million times. I haven't said this probably in a year. Everything that's in politics is always about one of three things: money, power, or votes. Everything.
Right.
Everything. Every decision that's made in politics is about money, power, votes. That's it. It's always the same three. Frankie, I'm going to let you go because I'm going to get my wife some snacks, watch a little bit of show, and then go have copious amounts of sex, unprotected with intravenous drug use, and while reading scripture and eating ice cream.
And saying the Lord's name in vain.
And taking the Lord's name in vain. That's right.
Anyone can tell us what movie that is.
Yeah, if you can tell us the movie. All right, buddy. Talk to you soon. Love
Thanks,
you, pal.
Frankie.
Love you. Bye.
Yep. See you, buddy. Liv, last word.
Okay, so donations from now on. If you guys want to put a song lyric, I'll make him sing out the donation.
I'll do anything you want. I mean, I will literally.
He'll put on a pair of tap dance shoes and tap across the table.
Told you, feet picks for 1,000. I'm still saying it. Feet picks for 1,000. I'm willing. I'll create an OnlyFans with feet picks. Just need 1,000. That's all.
My feet are cuter.
Oh, I told you a long time ago you should create a foot account on OnlyFans and we would retire.
What would we name it?
I don't know. Olivia's feet. I don't know, but we should do a foot. We should do a foot fetish site. Just call them dumb feet. Just dumb feet. I want you all to myself. Nobody. No, I share you. I share you with no man.
Funny.
I share you with no man
or woman.
Or Well, that's not necessarily true. I'm open for some conversation. Liv, last word. 1 minute. Go. We got to get the hell out of here.
Yes. Thank you, everyone, for the week. We really appreciate it.
I need 10 likes right now. You cannot leave me under 100 likes on Facebook, please. Don't do it in here. Go out to the outside, hit like, please. Spam it. Go ahead, baby. Sorry.
The only thing I can think of right now is Yenny has an asshole.
She has an asshole. Folks, go get your...
I'm at the point of giddy. It's 10 o'clock. I've been up for
All right,
way too long.
Let me do this. Folks, go get your Dumb Show copy of The Woke Mind Viruses. Go over to the Dumb Store. Do that. You can get it on Amazon, too. Read the book. It's great. T.S. Dixon is a very intelligent man. He's got some ideas. He has foresight. He sees things that other people don't. And go read his book. I'm telling you, you will appreciate this. It's a great book. The Woke Mind Viruses. Go get yourself the 250 shirt. This is Barry, our model, who was wearing somebody else's 250 shirt. I'm a little jealous, to be honest with you. I'm going to go and give him a call. But the Freedom, the Don't Unfriend Me Freedom shirt comes in hoodies, comes in long sleeves, V-necks. Olivia and I just ordered both of ours. We're excited about it. Go get some coffee. Coffee is important. Go get it now. Brian Scott says, don't unfeet me now. Don't unfeet me.
Don't unfeet me.
I like that.
Oh
Don't
my
unfeet me.
That is awesome.
That's it. We're going to create an OnlyFans.
Oh my gosh.
If you see an OnlyFans, because she won't put her face on there, just her feet, you know it's Liv. Listen, I'm totally...
That means I get a pedicure every couple of weeks. I'm cool with that.
I'm totally down.
I'm cool with that. I love my pedicures.
I want those dollars. I want those monies. If it's not making a lot of money, we're going to stop. But yep, let's do it. OnlyFans feet. We're going to do it.
Don't unfeet me.
We're not doing it. Her mom would be like, Olivia Spear, if I see your feet anywhere, I've known them since you were born. Don't make me.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. I love it. I love that name. That's awesome.
Everyone have a great weekend. Colorado.
I already know who the first subscriber would be.
I do too. Me.
Debbie?
But yeah, Debbie's second. I would get it first. Listen, folks, Colorado Avalanche play Wednesday, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard, and they are playing the Vegas Golden Knights. They are on the Western Conference Finals. After this, they go to the Stanley Cup if they win this series. I have a good feeling. I'm not going to really make any predictions. I know where I think they should end up. Let's take the first two at home, and then let's go into Vegas and go show them what we can do. Thanks for watching the Don't Unfriend Me Show. We love you guys. We'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.
Night, y'all.
See ya. Scott Lebedo. Wednesday, Scott Lebedo.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.